Sandakan. Weather's really great today in Sandakan, Sabah, Malaysia, as we are going into the second session of the Borneo Sevens, the greenest sevens in the world, as we are live, coming to you live from Sandakan. And in the morning we had a really great session as all teams came to the field on fire. Kazakhstan Rugby defeated the girls from Australia, Bryce Women's Rugby 24-0. After that, Rugby India wiped the Labon Wipers for 47-0. The men's team of the Borneo Eagles 22-7 defeated the boys from Uzbekistan, and All for One from Thailand defeated the boys from Johor SSCMI Tsunami 15-7. Hong Kong China Dragons had a really big scare in the morning session as they defeated Royal Thai Warriors 14-12. As you can see, the weather is really hot today, 30 degrees Celsius with a strong wind of 17 kilometers an hour. Hot. It's really hot today. And before we start the game, let's watch the package that has been produced for you viewers at home.
Finally, yes, after being laid off for 3 years, we are back, we're happy, but of course it has special challenges getting back on our platform to get this into action. It's been a 3-year wait, but worthwhile wait, and I believe we'll get over it.
Oh, I think the last time I came back, it was a while ago, and COVID happened and the tournament wasn't on, and to see the tournament back on and come back as a player, just getting used to the heat again. I don't really know how I used to play in the heat, but it'll be good for the opportunity for the young players to come and show what they've got.
Sandakan's always alive. There's a lot of people doing stuff, a lot of people around supporting. So, but it's good to see some countries coming back. I know there's a few countries, everyone's sort of struggling from COVID, but just real grateful that some of the other countries were able to come over and play.
I think the good thing is we have not given up, and we have definitely pushing to bring back Borneo Sevens and build it up to be a major tournament in Asia.
Don't creep those spinal, those guys out wide, get deeper so you can punch onto the ball.
Malaysia's always been a thorn in our side in a sense. I always remember in '98 when we had the Commonwealth Games in KL and we played the Malaysian team in a warm-up game. They were good then, really talented. I think the emphasis is playing a lot more tournaments and starting to build some depth, and I think they'd be a real threat in any sort of World Series if they got involved. But it's that consistency of being involved in bigger tournaments and giving them lots and lots of game time and playing at the higher level.
One of the things we are doing here is, in terms of development, giving the exposure to our local talents to play alongside professional players from the South, particularly New Zealand and Australia, and play against such teams too. I think I'm a very strong believer in mentoring. Mentoring means following and playing alongside some of the best players.
Oh, they've got wonderful people that run it, and Valor and KH, the brothers, and they put a lot of effort and a lot of time into the development and of rugby here in Borneo and in Sydney and Sandakan, and they've got a passion for it. I met them in Hong Kong many years ago, and we've built a relationship from there, and I think they should be proud of what they've achieved and what they've done, and I'm certainly very humbled and proud to have my name at their venue, at this high performance centre. And then what a way to actually, I suppose, provide real incentives for the athletes in Malaysia to have a high performance centre as we've got here. Great to have teams come here and stay here, and I can tell you right now, if I was coaching the All Black Sevens team now and I was coming to play in the Hong Kong Sevens, I'd be bringing them here 3 or 4 days beforehand to prepare. And it's an ideal situation, and great facilities, first class.
Yeah, you can only get better. Okay, we just started off. We were at a peak 2019. We thought we can take it to another level, which is almost there. But unfortunately, 3 years, the COVID came and did a lot of damage. But I think we are back again, and we need to build it up. And I'm sure with the commitment, we are also now planning succession planning for the younger players to get involved, younger teams. So I think it looks good. We will sit back and let the younger ones run the future tournament. But definitely, as far as what I see in the Asian context, the future is very bright for Borneo Sevens. We will definitely take it to another level.
backstory for the Borneo Sevens, Greenest Sevens in the world. Of course, after 3-year hiatus, is back now, and everyone is really happy. And the first game of the second session, Brightest Rugby from Australia against Labuan Vipers. Both teams, of course, still looking for the first win of the tournament, and hopefully both of them can get or can show a really great performance in the last match of the pool games. Bryce Rugby, so far, both teams are in Pool C, lost to India yesterday, and also they lost to Kazakhstan Rugby in the morning today. In pool, meanwhile, the Labuan Vipers also lost to Kazakhstan and Rugby India, respectively, today. A starting list for both teams. Labuan Vipers coached by Sharil Jamaluddin. Meanwhile, Bryce Women's Rugby coached by Beth Fanga. Good catch by the Vipers. Two players to bring her down. Not rolling away. Elisi Waka. Fidelia Telajan, former national rugby Malaysian rugby player, who also won the bronze medal in the SEA Games. Again, players were not rolling away. Fidelia Telajan. Great offload, still punching through the center. Not releasing the ball. Now the turnover to Bryce Rugby. Running through the gap, but the offload was not quite right. And the ref is calling a knock-on. Vipers to put in the ball. Great start nonetheless for both teams. Again, one of the things that we were talking about since this morning is lessening the mistake. They need to reduce this mistake, especially both of these teams, as these mistakes are hampering the efforts to attack the opponent. Great kick, and the ball bounced out. Now Bryce will have the opportunity to put the throw in. And on behalf of the tournament, we would like to thank the sponsors that has been gracious enough to put some money into this tournament. KLK, IJM Land, Longsin, Compumat, Boom Energy Drink, and of course, not forgetting governing bodies of the Sabah Sports Body, Sabah Rugby Union, and also the Sandakan City Council. Tsunami, the official kit supplier for Borneo Eagles, they have been really helpful as well in providing really quality jerseys for the team. And there you go, the first try of the game. And it goes to Tyler Watson. Cross the chalk to put the ball under the post, putting on 5 points to the Briars. And the conversion is unsuccessful as the kick swerves to the right, hitting the post. But nonetheless, a great try by Tyler Watson, overrunning the girls from Labuan to add or to put on 5 points for the Briars. Good kick by the Briars. They let it bounce, and the ref says it's a knock-on. I think it's a bit of 50-50, but I guess that's a good thing for the Briars. Another opportunity to the Briars for the attacking. And again, to those who haven't followed the Instagram of Borneo Eagles, please follow the Instagram of Borneo Eagles and also the Eagles Rugby Club on Facebook, on Twitter, and on TikTok. As well as not forgetting YouTube. To those who haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Brenna Raymond grabbing to the front, but it was too fast for Tyler Watson. And now the girls from Labuan can breathe a little bit after being harassed non-stop by the attacking of the Briars. Looks like an early jump, and the Briars will get a free kick from that. Unfortunate for the Labuan Vipers. Not letting go of the ball. Penalty is being turned over. Oh, another mistake. Oh, not back 10. Lucky for the Vipers. Ref called it not 10. It's good to see some international refs coming down to Malaysia to officiate the game. As you can see, the current ref on the screen officiating the game is from India. And definitely good to see all these talents coming around. And probably, who knows, we can see refs from India, refs from Malaysia, refs from Singapore to ref in the Rugby World Cup one day. From being pushed, looks like a turnover, but it was quite a loose scrum, and the scrum collapsed. As you can hear, the first half horn has been sounded. Last play for the first half, Fadila Telajan probably is having a bit of an injury from that scrum just now. Still with Labuan Vipers. Great offload and great catch too. Khairunisa Abdullah. But unfortunate for them. But great jackling shown by Brenna Raymond. And there you go, Tyler Watson once again crossing the try line for Briars. They saw the opportunity and took the opportunity create the second try just before half-time. And after this kick, we'll go into resting mode for 1 minute for both teams. Conversion attempt just in front of the post. Looks like it went in to add on another 2 points for Briars. Comfortable lead in front. Briars 12. Labuan Vipers still yet to register a point in the game. Last try by Tyler Watson.
Kindly report to technical 10, please. Thank you.
Easy try.
Ladies and gentlemen,
An easy execution for the Briars.
saw the conclusion of the first half of a Pool C game between Briars Women's Rugby
Both teams getting instructions from the coaches,
at half-time.
from Shari Jamaluddin of Labuan Vipers and Beth Fanga from the Briars. David Lennon is their team manager. Really dedicated guy. Who's been flawless, who's been really good in communicating with the tournament organizers. Easy for him to send over logos, send over videos. There you go, Tyler Watson. First try and second try from her. A wing with really good pace. Vipers need to do something different in the second half, lessen their mistake, and ensure that everything that they do they don't do it with or their execution must be flawless. Zarisa to kick for the Vipers. In the 22, they let it bounce. And now, the ball goes to Vipers. Was a really good chance to attack, but no. Mistake again. Knock on by the Vipers. Has the ball gone out? Yeah, looks like it. Yeah. Just stepped on the chalk. Unlucky for the Briars. Not straight, and the Briars can either choose a line out, re-line out again, or a scrum. For those who just joined us, you are watching the second session of the day 2, Borneo Sevens, the Greenest Sevens in the world. Match against the girls from Australia, the Briars Women's Rugby, and Labuan Vipers, obviously from Labuan. This is a women's Pool C match. And so far, Briars have managed to cross the try line twice in the first half. Brenna Raymond not letting go of the tackle player.
Behind.
Tap and go. Tap and pass. Saw the gap, step to the right. Brenna Raymond. Still Brenna Raymond. Good run by her. And the point that made the difference was the step to the outside. She saw the gap, took the opportunity to add on another 5 points under the post. Easy 2 points in front of the post. Brina Raymond, their top players, one of the players that's been highlighted in this tournament. Possesses speed and power, as you can see, as well as really good stepping skills. Anastasia Theharn stepping to the right, outrunning, trying to outrun the Bryce. Stepping in, stepping out. Will there be a try for the Labuan Vipers? Eunice Vina, great run. By Kajolin Jenisin, actually. Kajolin Jenisin.
Eagles NZ7's manager Kali proceeds to the technical team.
The Vipers supporters are really celebrating on the sidelines. Really happy to see the outcome from that run. Conversion unsuccessful, however. Now Labuan, in a long time, they were struggling to put up a score, but this is a really great run from Kajolin Jenisin. Stacey Ling Engan. Still 2 minutes to play. Little bit of time for the Labuan Vipers to catch up to the Bryce. Through the center, another offload. Fidelia that's actually the first try of Labuan Vipers in the tournament. There you go, another great run by the Bryce. Monique McGillen saw the gap, took the run, and too fast for the Vipers to catch her to add another 5 points in the underpost. 24-5. And adding on another 2, making it 26-5 to the Briars. And time is running out for the Vipers. Looks like Briars is in a really comfortable lead to end this match. Third in Pool C. Missed tackle by one of the Vipers girls. A bit loose in the defense. And this time around, the Bryce didn't make a lot of mistakes to execute the attack nicely. No one was waiting at the right side of the field. Ball was able to bounce easily, and Vipers will be throwing in, but the horn has been sounded. This will be the last play of the match. Oh, knock on by the Briars. Probably a consolation try by the Wipers. Let's see another run, trying to outrun the Briars. Great run so far. Let's see, oh, what a great cover tackle. Unlucky, knock on, just 5 meters away from the try line. Now Briars, will they have the last say of the match? Monique McGillen just striding through, being chased by Fidelia Telajad, but she says, no more. Under the glaring hot sun, finally adding on another 5 to the point tally of 31-5 for the Briars. Briars will have an opportunity to add another 2 points. Oh, that went far to the right. And I think they'll be happy with the outcome of the match, 31-5 to the Briars. And they will finish third in Pool C. Labuan Vipers, however, another one positive thing is they managed to get their first try of the tournament. And I guess you can see baby steps. Probably they will improve in the next stage, which is probably tomorrow. They're going to play in the knockout stages. Full-time highlights. A match dominated by the girls from Australia, from Sydney to be exact. Briars is a club based in Concord. It's about 10 kilometers away from Sydney. It's good to see teams like this, touring teams, and also touring clubs like this come to Malaysia and compete against our local boys and girls. Monique McGillen. Right, the second match between Kazakhstan Rugby and Rugby India. Both teams has performed very well so far. Managed to get 2 wins out of their games before this. Rugby India defeated Briars and Labuan Vipers as well as Kazakhstan. And it's a battle between these 2 teams. Who will top Pool C going into the knockout stages tomorrow.
31 Briars, 5 Labuan Vipers. And now we're going to witness our next Pool
Rugby India surprised a lot of people, especially yesterday when they defeated Briars. And
Rugby India.
as small as they seem, these girls are no pushovers. They displayed a lot of strength, a lot of speed, as well as good technical skills, passing skills, and have the eye for the gap. And it's definitely interesting to see the outcome of this game. Kazakhstan is a powerhouse, 7th powerhouse for Asia. They are just behind Japan, sorry. And of course, when they go against Japan and Hong Kong, they will give a good fight against these teams. Just little mistake just now from Kazakhstan women's. Great tackle, what a tackle, but looks like it's a bit high. The captain Shira was reprimanded for that, but no actions taken. Probably was accidental, or probably the tackle slipped up. Good line out. What a set piece by the Kazakhstan women's rugby. Great run by the captain. Just handed off a couple of Indian girls to register the first try of the game at the corner post. Balzan Koishi Baeva with the conversion attempt. The captain, Ludmila Shira, has been around for quite a bit, been representing Kazakhstan since 2010, and definitely an indispensable member of the Kazakhstan women's rugby team, as her experience is very important to the team. High kick. Managed to be tapped back by the Indian girls. Knock on. See this game, Kazakhstan is showing their physicality side to India, trying to impose that physicality. And that's one of the things, you know, when you have that advantage, you want to use that. Scrum being pushed through. Ball being collected. Or sealing off, says the ref. Unlucky for the Kazakhs women. Right now they have to scramble back to defend against an attack by the Indian girls. High tackle again by Shira. Hard to defend against players shorter than her. And now India having their moment to attack. Not rolling away. Gulim Babik back. Stepping out and try. Goes to Hupi Maji. Kazakhstan looks like they are under pressure. A lot of tackles that was being called by the ref. But the Indian girls were quite lucky, as advantage is being played. Definitely a great start by the Indian girls. Conversion. It's a bit short, but they managed to level the score 5-all. And now Kazakhstan, for the first time in the tournament, they make a rival who is about the same standards as them. Rugby India has come a long way to what you can see right now. As the players, compared to a few years ago, they are more composed. Skills are really, really good. And execution, as well as mistakes, really, really kept at the minimum. Good kick and good catch too. Straight away given to Shira. Shira trying to be brought down to a couple of Indian players to bring her down. Now Kazakhstan, it's their turn to finish strong in the first half. Still with Kazakhstan. Now Clarina Krasavina adding on another 5 points to Kazakhstan. Great run, this time around by the Kazakhs girl. From the other end of the field, playing hands, and the step out was the one that added the other 5 points to Kazakhstan. Conversion is unsuccessful, drifted to the left, but I reckon that's a good thing. There you go, the step out and slight jump. At the second try to Kazakhstan. The ball was allowed to bounce. Knock on. It's a bit of mistake by Balzan Koi Shibaeva. The horn has been sounded, marking the end of the first half. This will be the last play of the first half. No pushing, says the ref, until the ball is in. Strong scrum by the Kazakh woman, but then again, a mistake by the first receiver, and
Ladies and gentlemen, you
the
just
ref
saw the conclusion
ended
of
the first half
of the Pool C match.
with Kazakhstan leading India 10 points to 5.
The unofficial scores at half-time: Kazakhstan 10, India 5.
Both teams definitely have performed very well so far, but credits given to India. They have really shot down the defense of the Kazakhs team. But then again, as we can see, a few mistakes was done by them that hampered the attacking by the Kazakhs team. But this one, the first try of the girls from India, definitely was a good one, executed well. And this is the second try for Kazakhstan by Galina Krasavina. Both teams are getting instructions from their head coaches. Kazakhstan coached by Anna Yakovleva. Meanwhile, Rugby India is being coached by former player from South Africa, Ludwig van Deventer. Good start by, good kick actually, and a good catch. Straight away establishing a platform for the players. Good hands by the Kazakhs woman, Shira with an offload. Oh, mistake by Galina Krasavina, trying to offload. Shira looks a bit annoyed with that decision, but as we can see, it's either a knock-on or a line-out. Definitely. It was an overthrow and a great anticipation by the Kazakhs woman, penetrating through the center of the field. Stepping in, still with Kazakhstan, Gulim Babiktek. Gulim. Shira, an offload. Straight away being harassed. Amina Tulignova. Diana Abisheva. Now to Galina Krasavina. Galina dancing her way through to get the first try in the second half for Kazakhstan. Their third try of the game. 15 points Kazakhstan, and India 5. Good step by Galina Krasaneva. And the conversion is successful. Adding on another 2 points. Balzana Koishibaiva is the one who kicked the conversion just now. There you go. Stepping out, stepping in. Galina Krasavina. Playing through the pain and the hot scorching sun. Koishibaiva, Ogulim bucket back actually. Was the one who made the kick restart just now. And India will take the free kick. Good offload and good anticipation. What a cover tackle. Trying to step through. Falling in the ruck. Still with Rugby India. Sandhya Rai. Tackle without the ball. Hupi Maji. Oh, there you go now. Has been turned over. Penalty to Kazakhstan. They will look to counter-attack, but small mistake. Galina Krasavina knocking the offload, giving another chance to the girls from India. Wheeling the scrum probably, or early push. Really hard to take down. And that was a really, really good steal by Diana Abisheva. Offload. Still with Kazakhstan. Galina Krasavina. Galina Krasavina. Just need to run to the corner flag to evade Akansha Katkade to add another 5 points to Kazakhstan. 22 Kazakhstan, India 5 with less than 2 minutes to play. India is definitely going to scramble and try to get as much tries as possible to have a better ranking at the end of the day. There you go, that offload after that crucial tackle by India. Really smart and good support shown by Galina Krasavina, showing up at the right moment, giving that support run to her teammates. Ref says play on, faster, faster. Ball not 10, free kick to India. Time is definitely running out for them, and looks like Kazakhstan will win this game. Gulim bucket back with the jackling. Great shoelace tackle by Anzulika Pichugina. A bit scrappy from the offload. Babikta swinging it out. Then Milana Alayaiva with the offload. Gulim bucket back. Stepping to the short side. Galina. Oh, Milana. Milana, sorry. Stepping in and there you go. After the horn is being sounded, they managed to find another try through Alyona Drobovskaya. Adding on another 5 points under the post for Kazakhstan. Should be an easy kick for Gulim. Bucket back. Yep, adding on another 2 points to Kazakhstan to finish top of Pool C of the women's category, 29-5. Handoff and step. Good skill shown by Alyona Drobovskaya.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just saw the conclusion of the Pool C game between Kazakhstan Rugby and Rugby India. The unofficial score at full time, Kazakhstan 29, India 5.
So well done to both sides. And here we are with our next game of the day, the Eagles of New Zealand, the Eagles of Borneo versus the local team, the Jaguars. So this is a bit of a local rival here. And we're looking forward to seeing how both sides go in their home conditions. Should be a lot of fun, should be a lot of rivalry, and a lot to enjoy. You can see the girls are in a very good mood. The Eagles undefeated so far and looking very strong in this competition. Looking like really one of the contenders for this. The Jaguars are having a great time of it and giving it a real red hot go as well.
Pool D match between Eagles NZ7, who are donned in the colorful striped jerseys with light shorts against Convent Jaguars of KK, who are donned in their blue jerseys and black shorts. Will the team manager for the Kazakhstan women's team, Nurlan Balbarakov. Nurlan Balbarakov, kindly report to the technical tent, please. Thank you for the signing of
So Jaguars to kick off.
Kazakhstan women's team.
Borneo will collect it just outside their 22. Go wide immediately. Outside. Here's trouble. Jaguar getting across. Maybe not across fast enough. It's going to be a try. It's going to go all the way. Length of the field. Heading to the posts. And that's a try. They've opened the first try of the game with the New Zealand, the Borneo Eagles. And that was a great little interchange of passes all the way up the field that ended up with a try right down there. And the score will be 7-0. Yes, it will be 7-0. So once they got outside that Jaguar defence, it was pretty much shut the gate. If you take a look here, just those long legs just taking her all the way to the try line. Super work that. All right, taking it. So Jaguars have the ball. What have they got in their little kit bag today? Coming strong over the ball is Borneo, and they will get the penalty. So they'll go straight at them immediately. Ball's knocked back. It's offside. They've not yet another penalty. Could be a yellow card. Got both sides of the pitch to work on. Come across. And into touch. So chance for Jaguars to get their hands on the ball again. The thing for most of these younger clubs and these teams like Jaguars is to make sure they get to the breakdown as quick as they possibly can. They give away a lot of weight and a lot of strength away to opposition. They need to get in there as quick as they can and make sure that they secure possession. That is absolutely key. So that ball has hit the ground. It looks like a knock on against the Jaguars. Another chance for Borneo. It's a big push in and out. Going through the hands. The Jaguar defence there, but they get outside and they score the second try. Go underneath the post for the try. The second try for the Eagles. And that was just a matter of just using the width of the field, using the pace they had available to them, some clinical passing, and they're now streaked away to a 2-try lead. 14-0. We just take a look. It was just nice hands, putting the ball out there in front, giving themselves every opportunity to strip the defence. The defence was just a little bit too compact, and that was enough. I don't need a second invitation. So Borneo, now they're going up, straight up the middle. No going around the side this time, straight up the middle of the field, straight through the defence, straight under the post again. That's a great try. It's a wonderful effort. Some good footwork that time. And they're kicking all their goals too. Take a look here, just saw the space in front of them, took the opportunity. Going to really do their for and against a lot of good this game, I think. Jaguars, they need to hang in there and compete and do their best. Yep, switch sides. Oh, was that a bit high? The referees. It's called the knock on instead. Here goes Borneo. Well stretched out there. You can see there's quite a bit of space outside, but she's gone inside. She tapped away now using the winger, and that's the try there. the defence is just a little bit too compact. Their opposition is a little faster and a little bigger, and that's another great try to the Borneo Eagles, who are really feasting here today. And the Australians in the crowd there enjoying themselves as well, getting behind both sides. So the score remains 26-0 to the Borneo Eagles in the shadows of half-time. Take a look here. Yeah, they're just very wide. They keep their spaces. They space themselves out in attack. They've got a good structure, and that makes all the difference in situations like this. Back she goes. Immediately, the Eagles over the ball. Get the ball. And they immediately go on the counter. And you can see there's a two-person overlap out there, two-girl overlap. Oh, the referee has a look and awards the try. So did she lose momentum? Doesn't look like she does according to the referee, and that's another great try. Stretched out. You saw them immediately, as soon as they got their hands on the ball, they drop back into position, they drop back into their attacking structures, and they really show what they've got. And so they go into half-time, 31-0 to the Borneo Eagles over the Jaguars. Okay, sorry. Okay, so both players come back. Both teams coming back onto the field. You will notice that the Borneo Eagles have not put out their a lot of their superstars. They're giving some of their younger players a chance, and they're really showing what they've got. A very skillful display by them. A real chance for them to express themselves and show what they got. So that ball will find its way into touch. And using the winter grade advantage, they're very strong going down that end. As far as I can think, this might be the very first line out for the game. And they win it. Well done. Nope. It looks like it wasn't straight. So, very, very difficult thing to do in these conditions, keep that ball straight. And the Borneo Eagles will have yet another chance. Here they go. Oh, straight down that short, but she has to come back because the defence, they don't wake to it. They're going to go through their hands as they usually do, holding the ball up, inside, outside, taking on the last defender. She's over, she's got another try. Takes it underneath the posts. Not quite, a couple of metres out, and that was another good try. Just holding the ball up in the midfield, and then looking for the extra runner. Came through, showed a good clean pair of heels. Another try. The first try of this half goes to the Borneo Eagles. Hits the post. Knocked down, into touch. Yes. So this time it will be our second line out of the game, and it will go to the Borneo Eagles. Great take. Oh, nothing but pasture in front of her. Off she goes. This is going to be another try. Almost no. Good tackle. Fighting over possession. Jaguar get the ball back. Well done to them. Puts the ball back. They're the wrong end of the field now. I'm not sure. Yeah, that didn't look right. So Jaguar survived that one. And they've got a long way to go to get out of trouble here. So the ref's just fine-tuning. He's going to give a... No, so it's incorrect play there, so they're going to have to give the scrum to the Borneo Eagles. See there, the Jaguars are looking pretty weary. They've done a lot of running, a lot of chasing. All right, here you go. Let's use that width again. One pass should have it. No, she steps over the line and places it on the ground where she chooses. And that's another try to the Borneo Eagles. It's the second of the second half. So the defence on the back foot there. Just sitting back on the try line. Running out of a bit of enthusiasm, the old Jaguars. And just moseying up to the line and placing it down. Big learning curve here for the young Jaguars. We take a look again. That's just sitting back. You can see they're sitting back now. They're probably earlier in the day. They were probably coming up out of the line with a little bit of defensive zeal, but running out of juice at this point. So they got the ball, they've gone to ground. That's good work. Good clearing out. That's really good. And now they're going to get the chance to throw the ball around. Borneo Eagles over the ball. Not quite. So playing advantage. Jaguars working hard here. The Eagles going to go wide. Where do they got stored? They're going to take them on the outside. She's holding on. That's a good grab. It's going to go for a try. They're going to go over in the corner. So the girls are pushing hard. Nice to see the coming across and do a little bit of defence. But it's a hard day. It's a hard day at the office here for the young Jaguars. They're a young team. They're a local team. They're learning their craft. They're learning their trade here at this high level. And it's all a learning experience. It's all about learning how to play rugby against quality opposition. And I'm sure they're going to take a lot away from this game. Slide over the two. I'm sure both teams will sit down afterwards and have a talk and have a chat, and there'll be some encouragement going for both sides. As we take a look again, they come across, the defence came across, but by now the Eagles have well and truly flown, it might be said. They're in good spirits, they're in good touch, and they're looking slightly fresher now. They're still working hard, still working over the ball. Eagles not committing themselves. That's a bit of a tactic we've seen from both the men and the women. And pick up the loose ball, but it's a knock on both ways. So very close to the end of this. See the girls there stretching out a minute in the background, trying to get their weary legs back up. And that's the full-time bell. But we've got one more play. See if the Eagles can finish with an exclamation mark. Big push. They've got the ball. What are they going to do with it? Oh, we're going to have a bit of a run now. Have a bit of a go. That's it. That's the spirit. Throws it ahead. Eagles turn around. Well, that ball looked a bit borderline, but the ref has let it go. And the Eagles are now just going to go through their paces, you think. Show a little bit of their ingenuity. Was that... Oh, I thought you almost stopped that try. But well done to both sides. Well done to the Borneo Eagles, racking up a decent-sized score there, and with with some of their younger players. Eagles NZ have played very well and have put in a polished performance. And the Jaguars, well, as I said, every game like this is a learning curve, and every game like this is all about them playing against good opposition and learning lessons. And we've all been through this situation before. I know I have. Well done for both sides.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw the conclusion of a Pool D match between Eagles NZ7s against Convent Jaguars of KK, the unofficial score.
So as we take a look at the highlights, we can see a very succinct work here done by the Eagles. They used the ball, they went wide on many occasions, they went straight through the front door on many occasions, very straight. And they played a very comprehensive game of rugby. In defence, they were very physical and strong, good at the breakdown. And they deserve their win, their considerable win. And as I said, for the Jaguars, it's a chance for them to learn. And must we remember that a lot of the Borneo, the Eagle NZ girls were taking it easy. They were letting the younger girls have a go, and they really did the jersey a lot of justice.
Please proceed to the technical tent. For clarification, please. Please check all your cards whether you have them in your possession.
Singapore Development and Uzbekistan Rugby, both very competitive in this tournament so far, will provide us with a wonderful clash next up. Here they come.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Pool D match between the Singapore National Development Team, who are donned in their red jerseys and black shorts.
So this will be a really good coach. Both of these teams are technically very good, very sharp, and they will be moving the ball around. I think the Uzbekistan girls will play a very physical game, and I expect the development girls to use their pace, their skills, and their passing abilities. Uzbekistan will get us on the way. Development takes the ball. Some nice physical, as you'd expect, up front from both teams, but Development will get the penalty. Now they're going through the hands immediately. This is where they feel they would have the advantage. A broken line means there's a little bit of a gap there. The ball left behind. It's gone backwards though. And then there's that really strong in defence, coming up inside defence from Uzbekistan. So there is opportunities there. It's not a straight line as such. You can see little gaps beginning to appear, and that's where this short passing game is now coming into play. And this is where Singapore now getting outside of this defence and finding ways through. And on top of that, getting penalties. So they've had all the ball so far. Another offload. Nice work. Driven into the ground. Building up nicely though, Singapore. Oh, a bit scrappy there. Oh, over the shoulder, and Uzbekistan have it. So it's not a bad set of defence from them either. Now they're looking outside. Now they're looking at their options. The inside ball's on, but the ball has spilled forward. So both teams just struggling to get into some rhythm here, just struggling to find their way through. You can just see the girls just saying to each other, hey, let's settle this down. Let's get into our rhythms, let's get into our patterns. All right, so Singapore will get the feed. Big push usually from Uzbekistan, but Singapore are up to it. Inside. There we go. Oh, offload. Now they're in the space. It's a foot race. The cover is coming across. One more pass should have it, and it does. Singapore will now go under the post to score the first try of the game. That's a beautiful little break, a beautiful little offload, and it all comes together very well for Singapore to put the first try on the board. Pops it over, and that's a 7-point lead. And that was a really good try. Around about 60 metres. It all came just from a whole chunk of possession and then just probing that middle area with those short passes. And then eventually, that was a great offload because it was 2-on-2, but she brought in both defenders, released her winger and put her over under the posts. Now it's time for Uzbekistan to get a little bit of ball and see what they've got. All right, they're working the ball around as well. Some decent passes, heading towards that sideline. Roped in and taken into touch. That's some good sliding defence. And got the penalty on top of it, so it's a little bit too lateral there. Isolated herself just a touch. Singapore get the ball back. They've had the bulk of possession, that's why it's a 7-0 scoreline, I think. But you see here, she just pulls up. And I'm not exactly sure where the penalty lies. Maybe she didn't give up the ball quick enough. Matters not. Here you go, Singapore. Oh, hesitation, good defence though, good up there. And they're going to go down that blind. Nope, come in the open. And there's room, they're running into gaps. It's really good running into gaps. And trying to go on the outside, they'll have none of it. Development will continue to spread it each side, I'd say, going from east to west. And there's a gap up the middle off. And that's straight up the middle, straight up Main Street, straight across the field. And that's a try. That's a wonderful try. They were stretching them both ways from east to west, as I said. And as they did, they just stretched out that defensive line, and gaps were beginning to appear. And no one's going to make most of that than this young lady. She's been extremely impressive for Singapore development.
Kindly go to the technical tent, please. Thank you.
Singapore development have gone up to a 14-0 lead with just less than 2 minutes to go in this first half. You see this again, they're just stretching it, they're stretching the defence, and it's just a matter of finding that one person who's just not with it, that defender that's just not just quite with it, and try time. Uzbekistan, they will desperately try to keep their hands on the ball, but it's right now, it's development. Oh! Now, I think the referee will say something here. He will. There's a yellow card. Again, no malice in it, but you can't do it. So here they go again. The ball's going through hands. They've run out of room. taking it into contact instead. And now they'll use their considerable width. No, they won't. They'll go straight up the middle, continue this roll. They have a player up, so there should be gaps there. And you can see it there. The ball has gone to ground, however. All they have to do is pick it up and keep going, and that's exactly what's happened. Straight to the corner post and straight for a try. Great work. So there was the extra person, the extra player. They made the most of it. The ball hit the ground, but they kept their composure. They kept their cool, and they picked up another try. Uzbekistan, they just need to get some healthy ball, a good dose of possession, and just keep it and build up some pressure and see what they've got to do. So right now, Singapore have had, I think, probably up to 70% of the ball in this half, and it shows on the scoreboard. If you look at this try, they said the ball went to ground, but plenty of time, plenty of composure. That's all they needed to do is keep composure, and the try is scored in the corner. And well taken, right there on the sideline. But be driven into touch, not quite. The ball's been dropped back. Uzbekistan, have they got something up their sleeve for this second half? No, they've given away the penalty again. Singapore's going to go wide immediately, making the most of all the advantage they have in this first half. The ball's been popped back. The referee has seen a knock on, and that will conclude the first half of this game. Dominated by Singapore development. They've had most of the ball. They've had pretty much all the opportunities. They've done well with them. They've played against a team of 6, and Uzbekistan now get into their huddle, talk it up, and come out with their own strategy and their own ideas, believing that they will get their lion's share of possession in the next half.
Versus the Uzbekistan Rugby Federation. The unofficial score at half-time, Singapore 19, Uzbekistan 0.
So we take a look at some of these tries. A lot of this is just about how clinical these development sides, both the male and female sides are. They're very good. They're catching, they're passing. The basics of the game, they're very sharp at it, and they've got players of great skill, as we see right here, can take full advantage of the situation, the massive amount of ball that they've had, the way they've controlled this game, and the way that they've been able to manipulate situations. Again, this ball wasn't clinical, this one wasn't great, but again, they had the overlap, they had the extra player, and they've gone in with a 19-0 lead. Singapore will get this second half underway. Uzbekistan, this is their chance to show us what they got. And that's one of Uzbekistan's better players. It's a chance. Oh, down the blind. Let's see if we can catch them out a little bit. Breaking through some tackles. Good offload. This is better. Now we've got a little bit of open space. Puts the foot down. More cover coming across. Flips it out the back. Very strong work now from Uzbekistan. It's their time to shine, and the ball was thrown quite hard. I don't think she realised, the offloader, that the player was right behind her. As it turns out, it was a knock on. It just ricocheted straight towards Singapore. If we take a look here, just building up nicely, getting some composure, putting the phases together, and that, again, I don't think she realised that. I don't think that player was even there to catch the ball. She was there to clear out, so unfortunate for Uzbekistan. Big push coming through, big push coming through. Offloading, now right up there now in defence. See blue jerseys everywhere, but maybe a little bit too quick. If you're going to come up that quick, you really need to hit and stick, and they didn't. definitely trying to turn the tide of this game, and instead now Singapore have got the ball in a great position to score a try. That was really well done by them. Another opportune try. So just, you've got to hit and stick. If you're going to get up there quickly, you're going to whack them, you've got to grab them. Or if you don't, players like this with skills and pace are going to hurt you. And in that case, they most definitely did. So the hill gets a little steeper now for Uzbekistan. Down by 26 points. It's not impossible. We've seen stranger things happen. But if we take a look here, just the players came up really quick. I mean, good on them. They're trying to defend. They're trying to get up, put pressure on the ball players. But when you've got some really fleet-of-foot oppositions players, then you've got to make it work. Yep, the ball's gone through the hands. It's been very tricky, those kickoffs. I don't think they touched it, however, so Uzbekistan will do the quick line out. Referee says no. Do a proper one. Alright, so that's a good line out win. Now we know they've got skill, we know they've got pace, we know they've got plenty of ability. It's just watching them put this together. That's what we want to see from Uzbekistan. Oh no. And all of a sudden they let it go, and oh yeah, it's going to bring out the yellow card. And Maria made no attempt to try to get back, got in the way, and everything's going a little bit pear-shaped now for the girls in blue. Singapore are having a really good crack at this, and they're looking for another try, another offload, and there she is again. That's another try. That's a great try. That's just offloading in traffic. That's just good awareness. That's just good, just girls just going through what they've been probably taught 100 times at training. Offload, hit, offload, draw, pass, and that's another try. They're really beginning to run away with this now, development. And yes, and it's now 33-0. If we see this here, they come in, just look at this, just hitting, spinning, turning, passing, in traffic. There's tackles there, there's tacklers there, there's defence there, but they're just squeezing their way through gaps and finding support players. Really good rugby, really good sevens rugby. So again, the ball's been allowed to bounce. It's gone all the way back with that breeze. And we've got a long way to go here, Uzbekistan. And they've dropped the ball. It's been kicked through. It's been kicked out. So this will probably be Uzbekistan's ball, I think. And putting on tons of pressure. So we'll take up to the line. Getting up to the line. Now she's got to kick it. So it'll be a scrum. It'll be a scrum to Singapore. Another opportunity. They'll have both sides of the pitch to work on. A scrum in a very attacking position. And Uzbekistan, things just haven't fallen their way. We know they're a good team. We've seen them attack. We've seen them show plenty of flair. This game just hasn't bounced their way. I think they've been outplayed for sure. I think take nothing away from Singapore development. They've been really good. But Uzbekistan just bounced the ball, little decisions, little mistakes. Have really paid for them. And going out looking for that extra player. The inside runner has successfully deceived the defence. And that's another try in the corner. So that was an inside runner cutting through. You saw the winger stop, prop, chase them, but the ball, you got to keep the eye on the ball and the ball runner, and she went straight for the corner for another Singapore development try. So this will be a good kick if you can get there. And the score will remain 38-0. Singapore doing it very comfortably now. They've shown a lot of skill and a lot of pace. So you can see the inside runner here. She comes in, and just deceives the defence for tad. Some people might say that was obstruction, but I just think it was a well-worked move. And Singapore development continue to show how good they are. Oh, now I've got the ball again. The ball's been allowed to bounce from the kickoff, as it has been a lot in this game and in this tournament. And the ball has gone backwards. Wrestled to the ground. Still wrestling to the ground. It's been placed, but what's the referee saying? It's a knock-on. So scrum and Beckstone's last chance to trouble the scorers. Big push, big push. It's Singapore's ball. They're coming through. They've got the overlap, they've stripped them through, and this will be the last thing of the game. Will be a try to Singapore development. Pretty fitting. They have been dominant. They have been really good. We've seen lots of tries scored today, and I would say in this particular game, a lot of them are scored by Singapore's just pace and their skill and their ability. There have been some well constructed tries here. A chance to put it up to 45. Alright, so it's 45-0 win to Singapore development. I believe they've shown a lot of ability in this game. I believe the tries have been scored. A lot of them, like this one here, has been just scored by just good old-fashioned pace and skill, good structure. I wouldn't say any of these tries have been particularly easy or just rocking up and just putting the ball over the line. They are well constructed. It is a sign of a very well-coached side. So 45-0, Singapore development, power on over Uzbekistan.
Okay, a special announcement once again to all players and officials. All players and officials.
Finally, yes, after being laid off for 3 years, we are back, we're happy, but of course it has special challenges, getting back on our platform to get this into action. It's been a 3-year wait, but worthwhile wait, and I believe we'll get over it.
Oh, I think the last time I came back, it was a while ago, and you know, COVID happened, and the tournament wasn't on, and to see the tournament back on and come back as a player, just getting used to the heat again. I don't really know how I used to play in the heat, but it'll be good for the opportunity for the young players to come and show what they've got.
Sandakan's always alive. You know, there's a lot of people doing stuff, a lot of people around supporting. So, but it's good to see some countries coming back. I know there's a few countries. You know, everyone's sort of struggling from COVID, but just real grateful that some of the other countries were able to come over and play.
I think the good thing is we have not given up, and we are definitely pushing to bring back Borneo Sevens and build it up to be a major tournament in Asia.
Don't creep those finals, those guys out wide, get deeper so you can punch onto the ball.
Malaysia's always been a thorn in our side in a sense. I always remember in '98 when we had the Commonwealth Games in KL and we played the Malaysian team in a warm-up game. They were good then, really talented. I think the emphasis is playing a lot more tournaments and starting to build some depth, and I think they'd be a real threat in any sort of World Series if they got involved. But it's that consistency of being involved in bigger tournaments and giving them lots and lots of game time and playing at the higher level.
One of the things we are doing here is, in terms of development, giving the exposure to our local talents. They play alongside professional players from the south, particularly New Zealand and Australia, and play against such teams too. I think I'm a very strong believer in mentoring. Mentoring means following and playing alongside some of the best players.
Oh, they've got wonderful people that run it, you know, and Valor and KH, the brothers, and they put a lot of effort and a lot of time into the development and of rugby here in Borneo and certainly in Sandakan, and they've got a passion for it. You know, I met them in Hong Kong many years ago, and we've built a relationship from there, and you know, I think they should be proud of what they've achieved and what they've done, and I'm certainly very humbled and proud to have my name, you know, at their venue, at this high performance centre, and what a way to actually, I suppose, provide real incentives for the athletes in Malaysia to have a high performance centre as we've got here. Great to have teams come here and stay here, and I can tell you right now, if I was coaching the All Black Sevens team now and I was coming to play in the Hong Kong Sevens, I'd be bringing them here 3 or 4 days beforehand to prepare. And it's an ideal situation and great facilities, first class.
Yeah, well, you can only get better. Okay, we just started off. We were at a peak 2019. We thought we can take it to another level, which is almost there. But unfortunately, 3 years, the COVID came in and did a lot of damage. But I think we are back again, and we need to build it up. And I'm sure with the commitment, we are also now planning succession planning for the younger players to get involved, younger teams. So I think it looks good. We will sit back and let the younger ones run the future tournament. But definitely, as far as what I see in the Asian context, the future is very bright for Borneo Sevens. We will definitely take it to another level.
All right, the next game is between Singapore Development and, of course, the Borneo Eagles, match number 21, the second session of the second day of Borneo Sevens, the greenest sevens in the world. And the home team, the men's home team, will go against Singapore Development. Both teams have so far shown a great performance. When Singapore was, they were quite unhappy with the very how to say, small gap of losing yesterday to Uzbekistan, but probably they are trying to redeem themselves in this game. But of course, the Eagles rugby team, the home team, is no pushovers, with a lot of their experienced players playing today. And of course, today we have a very special guest in the commentary box. I had to pull him from the VIP box. Sir Gordon Tedgens, the man himself, the legend, and I'm a bit nervous commentating with him, with the legend. So, Sir Gordon, what do you reckon after 2 days of Borneo 7 so far?
But I've been pleasantly surprised, really, of the level of competition. I think it's very competitive. I was just saying a minute ago that I think there's certainly 4 teams that could walk away with this title. I don't think it's 1 or 2 teams. I think the game of sevens can be ruthless at times, and looking at the teams that I've seen, I think there's 4 teams, honestly, when it comes to semi-finals time tomorrow. Any one of those teams could be there in the final.
And you reckon, in terms of Eagles rugby team so far, what have you seen in terms of their performance?
Oh, Borneo Eagles were challenged a little bit by Malaysia last night. I think it was 26-24, and there was only a conversion in it. But that first game in any tournament is always a tough game to crack, because you don't know anything about the players, you haven't seen them play. And generally when teams come together, different combinations, some players from overseas, some players from their local area, it's really, really hard to get, to gel really, really quickly. And like the Malaysian team, for instance, the Melbourne Malaysian University, they've probably played quite a bit together, and therefore they probably had more combinations, and that's one of the main reasons they challenged them.
And in terms of when you spoke about the preparation, the Borneo Eagles had like 2 or 3 days to prepare for the tournament. So was it enough to win a tournament like this?
Yeah, mate, these tournaments are the hardest, because I've always had a mindset that as a coach you've got to play 6 finals to win a tournament. So regardless of teams being beaten the previous day by big scores, you still got to treat that game as a final. It's important that you don't get into bad habits. You set some standards, and those standards are set by the coach, and you have to adhere to those standards. So again, teams that have been together, that have played, Hong Kong's a team, for example, they've played a lot together. They're preparing for the Hong Kong Sevens, and they're a team also that with the combinations that are already there, then the coaching staff are the same coaching staff, so they'll be one of the toughest teams to crack. And but I believe the Borneo Eagles have certainly got players of ability. It's how they, I suppose, get out and perform collectively as a team.
Yeah, and definitely with the guidance of your former judge, Rocky Khan,
yeah.
Could put some of your wisdom probably in the team.
Yeah. Rocky's certainly, he's played the game at the highest level. He's got, great expectations, I think, from any team he's involved with. But also, I saw him at training the other day, and he jumps in, and he can teach a lot of these players some really, really good habits, and certainly get the best out of them, I think, because he's got the respect because of what he's done in the game of sevens.
Yeah. And there you go, first attack by the Eagles. Flung out and tried to hand off the Singapore players. Quick tap and go. Just hands out. Stepping in. A bit hard to tackle. Another offload to Badru Mukti. Adam chased by Serupepeli Nakasima, but collected by Gideon Kian. Muhammad Daim Zainuddin, actually. Local hero, local rugby player, Malaysian representative for the Sevens, to get the first try for the Eagles.
The beauty with that try, of course, is the way that he ran. He ran particularly hard. He's got high leg raise, and very, very hard to stop. But the most important thing about that is a ball carrier. He gets good momentum going forward. If he'd been tackled, they were there quickly, and they could set good ball and have the other team on the back foot. That's the beauty with that. And being a local player, I mean, he knows the conditions as well.
And there you go, stepping, and also you can see the power of Daim Zainuddin. A really good runner of the ball. Ball bounced. Looks like it's a knock-on by Badrul Mukti, or high tackle. Definitely accidental, as the Singaporean player was falling down. Quick tap and go by the Singaporeans. Trying to step in, Serupepeli Nakasima. He's been blamed for not rolling away. The oldest player in the Eagle setup, 43 years old this year. even at that age, Titch.
Yeah. You know, that, using a bit of width. They're attacking the space, which is really good. There's they've just put someone away.
Oh, there you go. No one at the back to defend against Singapore.
One of the areas, certainly with that try, he shifted off his line to run a hole and give it to it. And he took it, and he's obviously got pace as well.
Yeah, lucky triumph for Sullivan to get the first try for the Singapore team. Singapore National Development Team. Really young team. Looks the future looks very bright for the Singaporeans. And conversion to level the score.
Generally over the years, some of these teams are generally, I suppose, starstruck sometimes when they're playing some of the teams with all the stars in there, and they go into a defensive mode. But I think if they played their own game as if they were playing one of their own club sides in their own country, mate, that's half the battle, having a lot of belief in what you can do, and you go out with a positive attitude.
And I reckon what we are looking so far for the Singaporean team, they are not looking at the Eagles as a huge team, right? And there you go, an offload and also a good run by the Eagles. Jesse Douglas, Vincent Pascoe crossing the chalk to add on another 5 points for the Eagles.
Singapore's only had the ball once and they've scored, you know, and it's really essential that they spend a lot of time, because now obviously the Borneo Eagles are going to kick off to them. They must take the kick-off. That's the big key. There's so many balls this weekend, not just this game, but other games where a lot of teams have actually struggled at kick-off time. And in my view as a coach, it's probably the most important area of the game.
12-17 score stands. And there you go. One of the key moments here is the offload. Really good offload, and also that running line.
Yeah.
Great anticipation by Pascoe. Singaporean player is getting some medical attention.
Yeah, the contact area now in Sevens rugby can be really quite brutal. You know, post tackle, you know, getting in over the ball and getting cleaned out, and it's an area that certainly it's in 15s. It's always been very, very physical. It's actually transferred that into the sevens game as well. So you have to be really, really accurate around that area. And you actually get into really good habits playing the game of sevens, because you're one-on-one situations where a lot of sevens players these days, they aspire to go on and make 15-a-side teams in New Zealand, to make Super Rugby and to be an All Black. And so you can actually, in that game of sevens, you can certainly develop your game in a massive way. And that's what you like to see, because one thing about sevens, you know, is you can always, you get an athlete out there that loves to express himself in pace. You can actually see as a spectator, that how quick they really are. They've got a step, acceleration, they've got great vision, and you sometimes don't see that in 15s because it's so defensively orientated.
And in terms of that, comparatively to 15 years ago, has the breakdown got more physical?
Oh, for sure, because all these athletes now spend a lot of time in the gyms now. Where I was probably, my athletes at my time had explosive power. We probably did more in our legs in terms of where we needed to be aerobically and anaerobically, and those were the challenges. But we would never kick it out. We would always keep the ball, you know. And I've seen teams over the weekend, all over these last 2 days, you know, secure a penalty through a lot of hard work, and then they go to the line out and they lose the line out. Where they make 5 metres kicking it out, touch. They could have just had a free kick from where they were. So some of the moves are actually coming back from what we did years ago, because now teams are competing at line out time. It's just not a given. And whether it be a crooked throw, whether they get up ahead of you to win the ball and there's a turnover. So it's a big challenge now for all sevens coaches, and how you want to manage that. And because you're always, the ball is everything in sevens rugby. It's all about possession. I've always said though in sevens, if you've got a really good defensive team, your scrambling defence is good, attack will take care of itself.
Probably a bit of a collision. Oh, there you go. Accidental collision.
Yep.
The attempted tackle. Hopefully the injury is not too serious.
This is why in sevens rugby now, you're always looking to create depth, and you've got to have depth. And I've always said that any tournament that I took a team into, if I had a really strong bench, I believed I'd have a good tournament, and that was my belief in that.
Yeah, it's no longer a sevens man game anymore. It's a 12 men's game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And even 14, because you take an extra couple of players now, you lose someone on day one, you can actually bring them in, particularly comp games, Olympics, and so it's really important. You're putting pressure on others, but I've always said that whoever plays will do the job, you know, and it's a mindset that every coach has to have with his players and build their confidence.
Being stretched out. And again, hopefully the injury is not too serious. Looks like he's talking. Yeah. That's a positive thing.
Yeah, that's right. See, defensively, I've always been a coach that if you can chop tackle, in other words, make a particularly good tackle around the legs, it creates opportunities. Mm-hmm. But a lot of us and a lot of teams tend to go quite high, and they're obviously their intent around that is to slow the ball down. And then, but when you're going high, you're also giving away an advantage, and you also could be yellow carded, depending on obviously.
Not 10 penalty to the Singapore development team. And seriously, mistakes like this, crucial games have to be eliminated, right?
Yeah.
Derby run forward. Balls, hands to the wing.
Yep.
Penalty not rolling away. Tap and go. Fast by the Singapore development team. Chipping to the back. But being chased over and...
See, too individualistic. Then I hated kicking, you know, 50 chip kicks. I mean, they've turned the ball over. And they're on the 20, taking 22 and they had ball, you know. It's about individual brilliance sometimes, and unfortunately, you might as well give the ball away to them. They're a good team when they've got the ball, you know, but kicking it away, it's a 50-50, and it's always difficult when it's 50-50.
But in some situations, you know, if there's no one at the back and...
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, but it has to be, if you're 60 metres back, not the little chips, because there was 2 defenders in that particular phase of play.
Needs to be calculated, whatever it is. Yeah.
And the player gets frustrated too. He's just giving them the ball, and his teammates do as well. See, now they've come right down in their own half now on defence. This is where he should put it in straight away.
And that kid was an absolute screamer, I would say. Quite a kick from their own 22. And that would definitely put pressure on the Singapore team.
For sure. They got a good set play. We've seen a good line out.
Trying to outrun. Good cover tackle, and...
It's a coach killer, that one.
Cynical.
I used to say as a coach to any of the players, if you get taken out and you run outside, you give yourself an uppercut. Yeah, I mean, it was just it's a criminal sin to just turn it over like that. He could have pulled out, dropped it out, had someone in the pocket. You know, you've got to have calls from the outside, inside.
So many options that you can
take. Yeah, for sure. But he backed himself. He had a crack on the outside, but he had no support with him.
A good offload through the back door.
There's been a few deflections over the last day or so in terms of when making passes, and I haven't seen the yellow card come out much. You know, we're in the World Series. If you deflect a pass when someone's trying to make one, and even though it doesn't look deliberate, you'll spend 2 minutes in the bin. You know, I've seen a number of them over the weekend, over yesterday, Friday, and some today, and they haven't been penalised for that. Referee's been pretty good about that.
Oh, Serupepedi Nakashima with with a rare mistake by him.
He obviously, his intent there was to look at the line and just go.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
And there you go, the conclusion of the first half with the Eagles leading Singapore Development 12-7. A game, a half that is marked by a lot of mistakes by both teams.
Yeah, by both teams, and Singapore, to be fair, haven't had a lot of ball, haven't had as much as what the Borneo Eagles have had, and they're only up 12-7, so the game is still on a knife edge. It's pretty close. A converted try can put Singapore ahead, and then the dynamics of the game changes, you know. And, so they've certainly, Borneo Eagles have got to score straight after half time to try and just get a little bit of distance out in terms of score-wise.
This is one of the problems that they didn't have much time to together and
Prepare, yeah.
And prepare.
Even these guys are flying in from New Zealand. They were on the same flight as me when we came in from KL, you know, and so there were 5 or 6 of them that came in together from New Zealand. And another thing too is they're probably not sevens fit because we've got no sevens tournaments in New Zealand at the moment. So they probably haven't played a lot of sevens. So you have a real imbalance of fitness levels when you're putting an invitational side together, and that's probably what they've got. So you've got to manage your players really, really cleverly, and that's what the coaching staff have to do. I always, as a coach, I wanted to know the fitness levels of every player that I had, even if I'd gone to do well with an invitational team. Then I knew in my mind who could play every minute of every game and who couldn't, and that's what you definitely need.
Which means preparation needs to be more than 3 days. It needs to be more than 1 week. Eh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I always remember taking an invitational team called Kiwi Nomads in one of my very first years in coaching, and I said to my players, we're going there to win the tournament, and you know there was no luxuries, no drinking. It was about going there. You're on the other side of the world to win a tournament, and we treated it like an international tournament, which it semi-was in some ways. But the players, you know, you think about any of the players in this team here, they want to win it. You get on the field and there's that real hunger to win it. Doesn't matter about the level, they still want to win. You have that mindset.
There you go, great run from the hands by Borneo Eagles.
Yeah, they certainly needed that try. Yeah.
Stanley Cedric Stephen that crossed the line for the Eagles. Easy creating the overlap, and also from the fast line out that was taken by the Eagles, and that contributed to the scramble of defense by the Singaporeans, and 5 more points added to the Eagles. 17-7.
Both of their tries, or 2 of their tries, have been through some really hard running. You know, really acceleration, and they have got pace as well. You know, collectively right across the board. Brodie Lamb's also a very, very quick player at the moment. You probably haven't seen the best of Brodie, but he can play. Came to a few of my camps, and he's got some real skill sets, and he can quite often play out wide. He can also play in the forwards, so those are the beauty that they've got in this team.
Really flexible of Brodie Lamb.
Oh, yeah, he is. Upper body strength is really impressive.
Good genes, probably?
Yeah, I think so. He has brother Ben, and then he's got another brother playing Super Rugby now. Yeah.
And a good uncle coach as well. Pat Lam. Oh, good run. The Eagles defense is scrambling. Oh, an untidy offload. Trying to get the ball fast, but
the tackle was, they go back and look at that perhaps when they picked him up.
Offload by Eagles now. They are counter-attacking. Stanley Cedric
Good
being tackled. Knock on. Unlucky for the Singaporeans.
There are some teams out there that can scramble really well. You know, they can get back because they've got the pace to do that. I'd always played with the sweeper, so you had someone at the back as that reliant person, good defensively, someone that you could be sure to make those tackles on any line breaks. A lot of teams now play with 7 up, and Yeah, it's quite sometimes, and other teams don't identify there's no sweeper, so the kick then can become very, very important.
But your philosophy would be playing with a sweeper.
I'd always played with a sweeper, mainly because we were fit enough to do that. We had players certainly that knew our system, and that was a system that just about everyone used then. But now, a lot of teams are playing with 7 up, and the main reason is, like New Zealand as an example in the World Series, by having 7 up, they can contest the ruck. You see a lot of counter rucking.
Mm-hmm.
Where having someone back as a sweeper and you're counter rucking, you can take too many out, so you haven't got that attacking numbers to actually do the damage. But what you can do defensively, of course, is you can target those rucks, and you can't afford to be weak around that either. The only thing was with a banana defence, when you've got no sweeper, everyone's a sweeper during some part of the game, particularly when you're out wide and the ball is on the other side. You need to drop and beware of someone making a line break and that. So, but some players get fatigued and tired and they forget what their role is, and that's the challenge with that type of defence.
Possession with the Singaporean team.
Yeah. If we were playing Argentina as an example, they're a team that kicks a lot. You need a sweeper. They kick many, many times, and they got some real pace, and they got some really good ball carriers as well, so they quite often break the line. And they won a tournament just recently. So
Farhan Amran, show and go, and I reckon there's some mitigation there because he was going down in the tackle, eh?
Yeah, he was going down, but you sometimes don't. They possibly now yellow card him, and then they'll review it when they go up there, and whether it's going to be a red card or whether it's going to be a yellow. Continue 2 minutes. Looking at that, it wasn't too serious, but it was still up near the head, and you sometimes pay the penalty for that. It's high. That's effectively that's a penalty.
Another Singaporean player being stretched off. Hopefully it's not that serious.
We had one of the first games yesterday too, with one of the girls got injured very, very early as well. 3 stretching cases that I've seen over the weekend.
And it's just something out of our control, eh? Pitch.
Totally out of our control, and you've just got to be really wary of, I think if referees set some real standards and nail them when they're looking like going high, and you yellow card, and then you learn from those, and you will go lower, but it's quite brutal. I mean, they've got 12 players, and they could be down to 10 or 9 for tomorrow, which is pretty tough.
How did you manage last time to ensure that players, don't get penalised as much?
Oh, you just had to drill them in terms of what chop tackles are about. That was my key. And if you want to make my side, if you can chop tackle, it's amazing. As a defender, someone inside me makes a chop tackle, I could be over the ball and we've turned it over. That's what a chop tackle does. It gives you and it creates opportunities. But
thankfully
it's what they call risk and reward. You might want to go in and slow it down and go high. But then if he does, there's no mitigation. He just come down, and your shoulder connects with his head. It could be a red card. That could be 2 or 3 games out of the tournament as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? About the game, it has evolved tremendously in terms of the law.
Yep.
Yeah, not trying to protect the players.
Yeah.
Ooh,
see. Yeah.
Time Zainuddin. I'm not letting go of the player.
They need to score pretty quickly to get back into this game. They've only got 2 minutes to do that.
They need at least 2 tries.
But they've still got a sniff, They get a try now and they make a line break. Oh, it's gone back.
Knock back. Badrumukti was penalised. Now with Singapore trying to break the line of the Eagles. A mistake by them. Now ball has gone out.
See, a couple of those players that have gone off have been quite vital cogs in their team, and therefore the players that have come on, perhaps there's a huge gap in terms of their skills between the players that were on there to the players that are not. So, but I've always said Sevens rugby is all about everyone. You know, it's about the entire 12. If you're going to win a tournament, you're just going to involve everyone. Yeah.
How about structure? Is structure that important in sevens?
You've got to have 2 or 3 game plans. You know, you've got to have a game plan which is going to be built around physicality. You're going to have a game plan which is built about width. And it just depends on the players that you have in your squad. If you've got some really good forwards that are really good physically, you might decide that the game when you play against one of the lesser Asian teams it's got to be about physicality.
Now possession is with the Eagles, trying to get probably a last try for the game. Badru Mukti penetrating from the center. Now playing at the short side on the left hand side of the field. Stepping in and too easy for Desmond Charles Spooner.
Brody Lamb.
Oh, Brody Lamb actually. Brody Lamb adding on 5 more points for the Eagles.
That's the beauty with this tournament. You have rolling subs and you can go on and off and on and off, which could be great as long as you get your timing right. Yeah. He was on at the beginning of the game, then he was off for a while, and he's back on. So if you're winning the game, you can manage your players like that, and then certainly your key players, and you can't afford injuries certainly going into the 3rd day tomorrow.
Yeah, it's really, really crucial that you rotate the players so that they are not injury prone tomorrow, eh?
That's right. Always as a coach, I used to, certainly in the World Series tournaments, I used to go and try and find out, get an injury report on Fiji. And because they were sevens fit, they very, very ever really got any injuries out of the tournament. You know, so I just, because they play the game repetitively, you know, and they very rarely, they had the least number of injuries. World Rugby, obviously, we did a survey. And that's why the games were cut back from 10 to 7 on player wellness. And Fiji were the team that had the least number of injuries right throughout the whole 16 teams in the World Series. Wow. And I put that down to just continual playing in the islands and playing all the time, being sevens fit.
Yeah, they're not big on 15s, more on 7s, eh?
Yeah, but their 15-a-side team is very competitive now too. You know, I wouldn't like to be up. You know, they've got some very good players now. They're on Super Rugby with the Drua. You know, they're getting some high level of rugby, and they've got a lot of Fijians playing in France, which is probably the toughest club competition in the world.
The Singaporean side, they're trying to get probably a consolation try from the game. Another penalty, not letting go of the ball. Quick tap and go. Now, still with the Eagles. Sebastian Vicinia. Now, Serapepeli Nakashima.
I think Singapore can still make the semis, top 4.
Yeah, tomorrow they just need to win the quarterfinals tomorrow. And chip and collected. Brody Lamb again. Chip and collected, and his speed was really good for his size, especially. Outrunning the boys from Singapore to get the consolation and also the winning try for the Eagles. 29 currently against 7, and that's it. Both of the teams had enough, with the Eagles winning strongly in their final pool match against Singapore, 29-7.
Probably came out of that game unscathed as well. I didn't see any of their boys go down with injuries, so you'll be going into day 3 with a fully fit squad, which is really positive.
And I reckon there's a lot of positives for Singapore playing against a side like this, eh?
No question. Oh yeah. I've got some good players. You know, it's just about, I think, getting in the gyms and becoming more explosive, and because that's the big part of sevens rugby now. And we've always got to be targeted physically. But in saying that, you know, you can see this. You know, look at Spain. They haven't got huge boys, but they're very, very strong in contact. Portugal used to be like that. They're very, very good teams.
Another try by the Eagles in the second half. Brody Lamb, as what Titch has been talking about him, from good genes and also a very good potential player. Someone to look out for in the future, eh, Titch?
Yeah, mate. His brother Ben Lamb was outstanding in the All Black Sevens team. He's now playing over for Montpellier in the French competition, but he was a handful. He scored some wonderful tries.
You were the one who discovered him.
Ben Lamb?
Ben Lamb, yeah.
Oh, I had to convince him to play sevens, mind you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, he wasn't a sevens guy, and then I said, you know, what the opportunities it could present to you, and because it did, it got him into Super Rugby, and it made him, and he loved the culture in the end, but he was certainly scored lots and lots of tries, and he was a great player.
Yeah, I always thought Ben Lamb is one of the players that, you know, missed out on the All Blacks. I reckon he's always an All Blacks material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he was one of the real unlucky players not to become an All Black. In New Zealand now, there's a guy, Mark Talia,
yeah,
who's a youngster that had a bit of South African, a bit of Samoan in him, and I always remember seeing him and trying to get him to play for Samoa, and he wanted to hold back, and look at him now. He's apparently today for the Blues against the Crusaders, he scored an unbelievable individual solo try, and I've only read about it and I've heard about it, and that was against the Crusaders, who are a pretty good defensively, a very, very well drilled team.
Since we are in that context, so who do you reckon is going to replace Ian Foster?
Yeah, but I really felt for Ben, because I thought he did enough 1 year as a top try scorer in Super Rugby to do enough to be an All Black, to be honest. Yeah. These guys here, they work really well, eh? They're really physical, they set good ball, they're there, you know.
Well, unlucky there. Fell down in the ruck just now. And now the Malaysian University teams, Unto just now going into the tackle. Oh, Unto's brother. Now with the Malaysian University team trying to outrun. Change of direction, but good anticipation by the Uzbekistan. Or probably he was in an offside position. Abdul Qadirov Ugli sent off yellow card, 2 minutes in the bin.
They need to win this to be in contention to go to the top 4. They won their game last night.
Still with the Uni boys. They almost scared the home team yesterday. Only losing by 2 points, eh, Titch?
Yeah, correct.
A lot of potential in this side, you reckon?
Yeah, a lot of potential. They've got some players that are good on their feet. They're little, but they're certainly gutsy. You know, they make some great tackles. Their halfback yesterday made probably the tackle of the tournament to get a turnover. You know, I've always said once you make tackles, you get up and you start work, you know, and perfect. That was something that you loved to coach, and you point out to your own players and how well he did it. You know, it was a one-on-one tackle. He got on his feet quickly and he won the steal as well. You know, and then I started watching him, and he was really, really talented and really skillful.
There you go, the first try of the game, and an unlucky conversion. The ball hit the post. First try goes to the Malaysian University teams. One thing about teams from Malaysia like this, they are really good. They have a lot of potential, but sometimes they find it. I find it that they struggle to keep the momentum to be in front. How do you reckon in terms of you know, maintaining the momentum?
Yeah, they just drop off in that intensity, you know, and I think it's a little bit of complacency as well, when it's become too easy for them, and then they drop off. But this is great defence by these guys.
Yeah, I spoke too soon, I reckon.
Yeah.
Penalty to the Uzbeks, taking it very fast, dropping it to the back, knock back, but now turnover by the Malaysian University team. Early Tackled by the Uzbeks, playing with 6 players now.
Uzbeks.
Yeah, Uzbek.
That's the short term for, hey? Is that the term you use?
Yeah.
I bet they remind me so much of Uruguay, and they're just a tough and hard team to compete with. Oh.
Well, looks like a tackle, and from the tackle just now to the Malaysian University player, it was knocked back, and try being awarded to the Malaysian University side.
Very, very lucky try. I would have thought he would have lost that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think credit has to be given to the Malaysian University boys for the anticipation of that.
Yeah.
He played by the whistle.
Yep.
I guess
true.
That's one of the most important things that a lot of players disregard nowadays. Unsuccessful conversion.
Those conversions are so important. They could be up 14-0, you know, and that means you've got to score 3 tries to beat them.
Yeah.
At the moment, they're 1 try and they're back in the game.
Yeah. And you were lucky last time you had Tomasi Sama
Yeah.
doing your conversions, eh?
Yeah. Yes.
And he was a really good kicker.
Oh, he was. Marcel Valentroyom was another one. I had some very good kickers. It's hugely important, not only kickoffs as well, but conversions. Those extra 2 points are everything.
I guess when you are at that level, the small things that can make the difference for winning or losing side, eh?
Yep. These guys can be really physical and quite good, eh? They're just losing their way a little bit.
Yeah. So there's been a question. So who do you reckon, under your charge, is the best kicker that you've seen?
The best kicker from whatever country, whatever team?
Under your charge, or probably...
Under my charge,
yeah.
under New Zealand?
That you've coached before.
Yeah. Yeah, probably in terms of accuracy and what he did was Tomasi Thama.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And he was really consistent.
Yeah, pressure didn't get to him. You know, doesn't matter whether they were vital conversions from the sideline and that, he was really cool and around how he handled those. And obviously where we could, we'd try to get as near to the post as we possibly could. So, and when you're practicing as a kicker, you never commit the ones from the sideline. You're always kicking the ones with there or thereabouts because they're the big kicks.
Yeah, I still remember there was one game, if I'm not mistaken, was a Hong Kong Sevens final, and you guys was awarded a penalty in the 22, but it wasn't straight. But you were confident enough to ask Tomasi to kick for the three. Yeah. And you guys were tight. I can't remember with either with the Vipers or Fiji.
Right. Yeah. See, Hong Kong's that was the tournament, wasn't it? Hong Kong, and that's where all the pressure is. And Tomasi could obviously, he's been a player of the tournament too in Hong Kong. You know, that's the kicks you certainly got to put through to those 7 pointers. You can't replace those.
Malaysian Uni is again at the attack. Still possession with the Malaysian Uni boys. Mistake has turned the ball over for the Uzbekistan men's team. Still searching for their first points in the first half of this game. The last pool match. So far they've been performing really, really well in the first 2 games.
They play exactly the same as Uruguay, really hard in contact. But they're taking too much contact. They're playing, they've got no width whatsoever. And they've actually got someone that's really fast. See, he looked for himself, he killed it. This guy's fast.
Still with Uzbekistan, but now I think the ref ball is out and the ref signals end of the first half with the Malaysian University boys putting up a really great performance in the first half, getting 2 tries in, getting 10 points, and Uzbekistan is still searching for their first try or first points of the game.
Uzbekistan are still in this game. They're still in it, but they've got their option taking is pretty average at the moment. They're looking for themselves as a ball carrier more so than looking to to actually play a lot more collectively as a team, and therefore they're cramming in, and that's why they're taking it into contact all the time. They just had a bit more width. They would stretch these Malaysian boys.
And this is one of the things that we were talking about just now, Titch, where, you know, how do you get the players to, you know, be consistent in all the games, especially in the pool match. And I guess what Uzbekistan is doing now, probably, do you see that they are pulling the handbrake a little bit against the Malaysian University boys?
Yeah, I think I saw it in the game this morning when they lost to Borneo Eagles. You know, they actually played pretty well at times, scored a pretty good try, and I thought the coaching staff might have got enough out of that game to actually give them to come into this game, you know, because they're infringing exactly the same in what they're doing and they did in that previous game. And, you know, when you lose, you've got to learn from your losses. And it may be as a ball carrier, we lack support, we're getting isolated and we're getting smashed. And that's what's happening here. It's really slow ball, punching in, and so they're actually creating no opportunity. They're good ball carriers, they run hard, but they're sort of getting nowhere, you know, and they're punched.
Now the second half is really crucial for Uzbekistan. The Malaysian University team is still searching for the first win of the tournament, and the current results, they are definitely going to be really happy going into the second half. But of course, they need to keep the momentum in the second half. Uzbekistan will come out firing in the second half for sure after getting a bit of a noise from their coach, Ivanov Pavel, their head coach, who just finished a coaching course with you, Titch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because in the coaching course I challenged the coaches around your halftime talk and what you saw in the first half as to opposed to your halftime talk, and how much do you give them. It could be 2, if a maximum of 3 things. That's all you can. The players won't listen to you. You can't give them too many things, so you've got to work out what those 2 or 3 things are that you need to drill into them.
You know, great possession by the Malaysian Uni boys, but I guess mistake by them trying to kick the ball forward, but another mistake by the Uzbekistan men's team, losing the ball forward, gifting the possession back to the Malaysian Uni boys.
And the Uzbekistan Rugby Federation. Present score, the Malaysian.
Unlucky for the Uzbekistan team A, Titch.
Yeah. Well, no, I actually enjoy watching them play, but I'm getting probably a little bit frustrated at the moment because they continually, even then, they had good ball, but they were too flat. And when you've got a flat back line, your passes lack accuracy, and that's exactly what happened when they spilt it.
And there you go, the Malaysian Uni boys.
Doing
the switch.
They're attacking the space.
Good recovery tackle. And now they are shifting the ball to the other side of the field. Missed pass. But as you can see, the Uzbekistan players are just waiting to cover. And good defense shown by the Uzbekistan team. Contrary to the Hong Kong team and to the Eagles, their line speed is just waiting for the attack to come in.
Yeah. That's what you've got to weigh up to sometimes. It's a 50-50. You know, and you turned it over, another coach killer, unfortunately.
Basketball pass.
Yeah.
Bad basketball pass, actually. And now, the Malaysian Uni boys with the chip. Foot race.
Well
Good
done.
tackle and pick and go from the ruck. Not much anticipation from the Malaysian Uni boys.
They have to use that width. They have to use it. That third person needs to be there, or they'll go out and they'll lose it. The third person, the halfback, has to be there. They'll get it now. They need to go quickly.
Tap and go by the Uzbekistan.
They've got some real pace out wide, eh? Well,
yeah.
He's run the back in the game now, you know?
Yeah. Sokolov Dimitrievich, he saw the gap, he took the opportunity and through the center, without even looking to the side, and also converting the try to ease the gap between the Malaysian Uni Boys and the Uzbekistan team. There you go, just a straight run to put the ball under the post.
Because they probably don't play in lots of sevens tournaments, they're not really exposed to how some of the parts of the world, Southern Hemisphere and all that, they play, you know, and so they probably even need to watch lots and lots of videos of World Series tournaments and get a real idea and a perception on how we should play sevens. And I think the coaching is really important too, that you just don't want to coach because you're going to pull the numbers in. You need to give them really good directives, technically and tactically, about sevens rugby as well. I mean, the coaches for this particular team, certainly in the course, you know, they were really keen, like sponges. They soak everything up, and but it's not going to happen in one tournament. But it's a gradual process about storing that knowledge and knowing when to use it. And you've also got to have the firepower and the ammunition to get out and perform as well. But you still want them performing to the best of their ability. It's 10-7. It's a pretty close game now.
Yeah, now with the possession with the Malaysian Uni Boys attacking the Uzbekistan defense line.
He's got it. Ooh, that was very unlucky. I thought he had rights to the ball then.
Quick tap and go.
Yeah, he's got it back.
And that was an easy peel.
This is where your option taking. See, they. Oh,
another mistake. Again. Can the Malaysian University boys capitalize on the mistake made by the Uzbek boys?
They tried to drag them out, eh? Oh, no, offside. Not being behind the hindmost foot. It's funny, they turned it over, they got it, you know, they ripped it out of his hand and just blowing that opportunity. It was like
maybe too eager, Ditch?
Yeah, too eager and just panicking and yeah.
Old Town Warriors, diminta penerus Old Town Warriors, sila tampilkan.
Because I reckon they look like, you know, probably from the body language that you can see, they're a bit overconfident.
Yeah.
Into the game in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing about them, they're a really committed team. Both teams are quite committed. You know, they don't hang off. They get into the physicality, and they've all got some good skill sets, and whatever that might be, even as a ball carrier. But I think if they both could use lots and lots of width, I think it'd be a far better game of sevens that we'd be watching right now. I think there's a lot of mistakes, and I think that's due to just the individuals wanting to break open the game themselves rather than trying to, you know, string a few phases together and make it a good team try, if you like. This here's a big scrum.
Yeah,
and you've got to get your defence right, that's for real. Oh, the sweeper's coming across.
Changing directions, stepping. Well, good cover tackle by the Uzbek boys. Still with the Malaysian Uni.
It's great pressure. It's fantastic pressure.
Oh, what an offload. And probably that seals the game for the Malaysian Uni boys. A great offload. He was held up by 3 Uzbekistan players. Saw the opportunity, took the opportunity, and that was a good one, ain't it?
It was a, yeah, I mean, freeing that up. I mean, I thought they had him held in the air, you know, and they would have earned the right for a scrum and get the ball back, and still a chance to win it, 51-7. Well, I need to score twice in the next less than 1 minute. It's possible. It's happened. That's great pressure. Now they kept them up. They didn't get it down. Oh.
What a basketball pass. Just over the top.
Probably one of the smallest guys as well.
Yeah. It's great to see guys like this, you know, showing skills like that, eh?
Yeah. They need to score straight away. Yep.
Oh, unlucky. Dead ball area, and that's going to be a free kick to the Uzbekistan. And of course, I think with time running out, it looks like The Malaysian University boys have come out with a win.
He needed to stop the clock then, I felt. Because the ball's dead and it's out of play. You know, that's just...
Still with the Uzbekistan rugby team trying to get a consolation try in the dying minutes of the game. Great backdoor pass and no one at the center. Great cover tackle. Just pick and go. Desperate attempt by the Uzbekistan. Penalty, tap and go, and looks like it's being held up. Great defensive effort by the Malaysian Uni boys.
If they'd scored that particular try, because they heard it in the sound, they just could have said no conversion and run back for a kick-off. You know, so they were pretty close, but he attacked it with a head defence. Game's still going. Look, 1-14.
Yeah. Probably the time wasn't stopped there during
no, it wasn't.
the injury.
No, true.
Yeah. Haven't heard any horns yet. Yeah, offside by the Malaysian Uni boys. Penalty, Uzbekistan with another chance.
See that? Oh.
To get a try for them. A lot of the support for the Malaysian Uni boys. Unto with the tackle. And oh, looks like he lost it. Unlucky. Unlucky.
Oh, now it's gone. She's over now.
Yeah, now scrum, probably the last play of the game.
If they'd scored that other try, if you go back 35 seconds, 40 seconds ago, they were still in there, a chance from the kickoff. But that one player, and that's probably been their biggest downfall, they're playing too much as individuals and trying to break them and crash them. Got that mind and that perception that the Malaysians are too small.
Yeah.
You know, that we'll use our size to run at them and get some real momentum, but it hasn't really worked because to Malaysia's credit, they've actually defended really well, particularly at the end here.
And there you go, the kick. Not out yet. Being tapped back. Ball stay on the field. And there's a foot race. Who will gather the ball? Oh, that looks like a penalty try. Yeah. He doesn't need a penalty try. What a great effort shown by the Malaysian University team. I guess I would say this is an upset. What do you reckon?
I think so. If I've gone into the game, I would have thought it was a pretty close game right through, to be fair. Yeah. But but I think both teams have also played better as well. It's been quite scrappy, but it's not over till it's over, and I think it's a real learning curve. If I look at the number of games in my career that we won in the last play of the game was a huge amount, you know. But you've got to have that real patience and the real discipline to hold on to the ball for strings of phases to actually finish them off. And when you've heard the hooter, you know, it's out of your mind. You still got, if you're behind, but how important is it?
Full-time Malaysian Uni 24 and Uzbekistan just have to give it to the Malaysian Uni boys. When he settled with 7 points, great effort shown by the Malaysian University boys in the first half. They really attacked the Uzbekistan defense line, getting 2 tries in the first half and maintain their composure and also their momentum in the second half. There you go, the anticipation by the Malaysian Uni players. That was the one that gifted the try for the Malaysian players, and this is the only try for the Uzbekistan team. And this is the one, the basketball pass to Unto, their most experienced player in the team.
Scrambling defence, very, very good. even this at the end of the game, even though the game was won, you know, to Malaysia's credit, they've actually come back and scored another one.
Yeah. This is the one that we always see. There's always a lot of potential in Malaysia, and thank you very much, security agents, for your time. It was a real pleasure and also an honor for me to have commentated with you in this game. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers.
Your match official for this match, ladies and gentlemen, is Shane Barr.
All for one from Thailand here, taking on the Hong Kong Chinese Dragons. This will be an entertaining game, one would think. Both teams like to throw the ball around. Both have a very strong ethos of catch and pass and run, etc., etc. So I think we will see some dazzling rugby now. The Dragons will get us underway. Okay, so that one's hit the ground. Looks like no one's touched it, so All for One have kept their hands on it. They finished their last game extremely strong. Can they start this one extremely strong? Hong Kong. Hong Kong will be hard nut to crack, though. They are very disciplined in all aspects of the game. And you can see in defence here, they're working very hard for one another. Resorting to the kick with the wind at their back, so that's not such a bad idea. However, they will give Hong Kong Chinese Dragons, the ball just over the halfway line. And that's a formidable line out too they have got. And they've of course pinched it, and off they go. Back inside, nice little pass. Good offloading. Oh, out the back, that's sweet. Now we've got some room to move. Weighing up the options. The defence has come across. Ball's gone backwards. Play on, says the ref. Hong Kong's still very much on the march here. Now they're going to go wide. This is where they usually do very, very well. This is where they're clinical. Oh, just as I say that, they drop the ball. I just give them a rap for being clinical. It was a cold drop that has left the All for One team very relieved, I can tell you, because that was building up to something. Still in the wrong part of the ground for their liking, but All for One will feed the scrum. Now they need to try to get out of this red zone. Will they resort to the kick again? Yeah, ball in hand it seems. 1-on-1. Yeah, Hong Kong not likely to miss those. He's just stayed inside the field of play by the looks of things. No, he hasn't. Flag goes up. Yeah, you're not going to be able to run around Hong Kong that easy. You really need to work the ball around a little bit. Give yourself some options. Play some moves. Get some dummy runners, etc., etc. Take it up the middle. See if you can suck in a couple of defenders that way. Now here they go. They're taking it into contact. Here goes Hong Kong. Inside. There's a bit of room there to move. Still a bit of room. He's up to the 22. The ball bubbles round in there, but the ref says play on. And they're going straight to the wing. Looking at their options. 1-on-1. Good tackle. Clearing out is good also for Hong Kong. They're very good at the basics, and now they're going to go wide. Oh, they're good at the basics, and they drop it every time I say something. Oh, my gosh. So, offload, nice offload. Going back to that wing, sensing they've got some strengths there. Still clearing out. Still working away. Still working away. All for one, hanging in there with all they've got. But they've given away a penalty. How long can they hold on for? Very close, and that's a try. Pressure equals points in this game, and that's a try that's just come on the back of a lot of possession, a lot of continuity there from the Hong Kong Chinese Dragons, and in the end it conceded a try. And that one goes nowhere, and it's 5-0 to the Hong Kong Chinese Dragons. The ending of this looks, kind of soft, but I can assure you that the lead up to this was quite impressive. They held the ball, they kept working down that short side, they kept working away, got the penalty, and all for one just could not hold on for much longer. There it goes, swinging in the breeze. And Hong Kong will come up with it, and immediately they'll go on the attack. They'll just keep working away at this. They're into space. One man to beat, two men to beat. He'll get them both, and they'll score right next to the post. It's a little easier than the first one, but it was again due to a lot of pressure and a lot of skill that this Hong Kong side has. They don't let opportunities go by, I can tell you, this Hong Kong Chinese Dragons team. And they've had several opportunities, and they've put on 2 tries in this first half. Here it is too, it's just a couple of missed tackles, and then it was just a foot race to the line. They come across, just couldn't drag him in. And now it's time for all for one to get their hands on the ball and to show us what they've got. They've come from behind before. They did in the last game. They scored 3 tries in the second half, so don't write them off. That's a nice take. That's a good little run. Bending back the defensive line. Yeah, don't muck around. Get rid of that ball as quick as you can. That's it. All for one. Looking a little bit lost there with the ball, but the referee's intervened. Coming back. All for one, definitely looking a little bit rattled with the ball in hand. The fast-moving Hong Kong Chinese Dragons defence is causing them a little bit of concern, a little bit of chaos in their thinking. They need to clear themselves and get back to their structures. And that's not going to help at all. The ball being knocked on. And that's what we're talking about. Again, the defence is up very, very quickly. Very well drilled side. Dragons. So right on the half-time bell, Dragons can really do something special here and make this extra harder for all for one, the Thai boys. It's a decent push from all for one, but they've gone down that short side again out of the back of the hand. I think that pass was. Another little bit of a piece of flair from them. And they're building up again nicely. Going wide, the back line is set, but still wants to take it into contact. And that's a penalty. And the pressure will build up even more. They smell blood in the water now, the Dragons, and they're going for it. Yep, and they've got the try. 2 on 2, and it was just got outside his defender. Palmed him off, used his strength to go over. And that's a bit of a killer blow on the half-time break. That's 3 tries in the first half for the Hong Kong Chinese Dragons. And even though we know all for one can do it, it's still a big challenge against this team. Oh, that's a wonderful kick. Wonderful kick, but it's one of the better kicks we've seen from the sideline in this tournament, and it's now going into the halftime break. 19-0. We take a look at this try again. It was just a matter of getting, there was just 2-on-2. The inside defender just couldn't grab him. Big palm, big no argue. That's a try. A bit desolate there, the Thai boys. They just need to pick themselves up, believe in themselves, get back to the structures. Coach will be saying, remember the last game, all for one, remember the last game. We put 3 tries on in the second half. They've got to believe that they can do it again. Meanwhile, the Hong Kong Chinese Dragons will get back to business as usual. And they'll be wanting to see if they can score points nice and early and try to put a big dent in the confidence of the Thai boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw the conclusion of the first half of the Pool B game between All for One and Hong Kong China Dragons. The unofficial score at halftime, Hong Kong China Dragons 19, All for One 0.
So we're off again, kicking off. Well taken by Hong Kong. Clear out nicely. From a standing start, but a hard run into contact and a nice offload too. So here's a little bit of room to move for the Hong Kong Chinese Dragons. Good defence there coming in, block that off. But Hong Kong stay patient. Looking around, looking for a bit of room. Now they're straightening things up. Trying to get outside. Over the halfway. Pressing and pressing. Just patiently holding onto the ball. Ooh, watch that. Watch that. Now there's a bit of an overlap here. There's a 3-on-2. Hong Kong still just be patient, not pushing the pass. Now, All for One coming over the top, and well done. Well done. Coming over and stealing the ball and getting the penalty for it. And they're getting on with things. They know what needs to be done. Kick ahead. There's nobody there, so he needs a bounce. It goes backwards. He's good enough to turn around and grab it again. So now a bit of I was about to say a bit of ball work, a bit of razzle dazzle, but kind of lets them off the hook a bit when that happens. Apologies all round. That was a nice piece of work though. It was a really good piece of play for All for One. And a reminder to anyone in the Sandakan area, if you're in town tomorrow, there's no place you would rather be than right here at the Eagles Rugby Club to enjoy a great afternoon, a great day for that matter, of rugby. You'll see the finals, you'll see a lot of emotion, you'll see a lot of passion, of course you'll see a lot of friendship and a lot of camaraderie, which is rugby. So they win it, they drop it. In comes Hong Kong. And they're going right on the attack too now. They've got a little bit of space here. Just finding their way downfield. Again, they're very patient. They don't always go for the silly pass. They don't always go for the hallelujah pass. They get in there and working hard. As is, must be said, All for One in the ruck there. Also working very hard. And now there's room to move. Looking to place his man outside. Pins his ears back, but the Thai boys come across. So he goes inside, he's looking for holes. All he's found is a good tackle, and that's a beauty. That's a ripper. That's how you do it. Oh, he's opened up. Nope. From behind. Cleared out. I'm not sure about that clear out, whether he was on his feet or not, but justice looks like it'll be served because All for One do have the ball. They're looking around now. They're looking for their opportunities. They're a little bit unorganised at the moment from the turnover. That's it. And now we've got some room. Now the speedsters are going to put his head back and have a go. It looks like he's pulled up. It looks like he might have pulled a hammy. Oh no. Oh, the ball's been dropped. It really looked like from here that the young fella was on his way, and then you look at him, and he just seems to slow up dramatically. Now, I don't know whether he lost confidence. He thought he was going to get run down, but he's looking. It looked a bit ginger. Let's take a look. He just thought he had it, and then he got a good chase. Good chase, must be said. Got there, ran him down. An opportunity lost, you would think, for the Thai boys for that desperately needed try. Now that wind is definitely picking up. It's getting stronger. Some bit of cloud cover, cooling things down. Look at the fly halves, giving each other little digs. Classic. All right, and here go Hong Kong. They haven't set the world on fire in the second half, but they've been their usual disciplined self, and as a result, they will run away and score a try. Just a simple inside pass, some tight defence, and Hong Kong have gone a long way to putting this game to bed. Wax it over. Hong Kong Chinese Dragons are up by 26-0, and as I said, they hadn't set the world on fire in the second half, certainly not scoring the tries they did in the first, but eventually a very tired all-for-one team made of defensive lapse, and again they are very quick. Just inside pass, so you can see there's no defence coming up on the outside there, and that was a cushy run to the line, to say the least. And that's because of a lot of good defence, a lot of doing the little things very well. I think that's their strength, this Hong Kong Chinese Dragons. They do the little things. They're what we call the 1%ers. They work hard for one another. They work hard in defence. They back each other up. They're very patient. They're very much contenders in this tournament for mine. Well, the ball hits the ground, as it so often does. Picked up by Hong Kong, but straight into touch. For one. This is another opportunity for them. Put some points on the board, something I would dearly love to do. I think that was supposed to be a planned move, but it didn't quite work off the short throw in. He still got it though. Here's a chance. They can make one break before they can do it again. There's no doubts about it. They've got the ability. Hong Kong come across in their usual very strong defensive line, but conceded the penalty. So all for one. Boys from Thailand. They want to finish this game on a high. They can certainly do that. They are good finishers. Oh, the ball slips out, comes off Hong Kong hands. I'll be interested to see which way he goes. He says it's a Hong Kong knock-on. So again, another opportunity. The boys from Thailand. I believe many players in that side are international representatives, so they certainly know how it's done. But Hong Kong Chinese Dragons, they're taking their time. They're in no rush at all. They're in the ascendancy right now. So that's a good feed. Ball pops out. Less than ideal bounce, but they still got it. Chip and chase. No one's there. Shows a good turn of speed, and that's a great try. A great try. Really came from nothing at all, and he gives us a beautiful little tumble turn right there, just to put a bit of cream on the cake and to give something for the spectators to get excited about. And it was a great try. It deserves to be warmly applauded. There was nothing going on there. The ball had gone to ground. He picked it up. He looked around, chipped it nicely, followed through, had the pace, and well done. Well done. They got their try, all for one. And Kapan Kapas are what they'd be saying now. Let's look at this again. I love chips and chases, I'm not going to lie. And I love a good, fast running guy who kicks ahead, backs himself, and does the little tumble turn just to give us some entertainment. And that's what this game is all about. That's what Sevens really is. It's about entertainment, it's about skill, it's about everything. So as you can see, this stadium looks wonderful, and again, we just want to encourage anyone in town today, in town tomorrow, to get along and come and enjoy the festivities of rugby. There's plenty of things to do, plenty of people to talk to from all over the world. And let's take a look at some of these people from Hong Kong and Thailand. This was the second try. This is the one I think that really kind of cemented Hong Kong's ascendancy. It was in the first half, but it came a little simpler than the previous ones. And from that point, they just really put their foot on the pedal whenever they got the opportunity. Just falling off tackles, just getting a little bit more tired there, all for one. And we saw this great come from behind tackle. Never give up, chased him down. And that was really their opportunity to get back into it. And then a little bit more tired defence. You see there's no one coming up that short side. The flick pass, and he was only going one way. That was under the posts. And of course then there's this beautiful chip and chase. I don't know, we've seen too many spectacular post-try celebrations, but this might be the best so far. That's it. Very passionate. And we come to our final game of the day, the SSTM versus Tsunami, which is the Malaysian team. I do believe they're playing a Royal Town, but also from Malaysia, so this is an all-Malaysian affair. Both teams will be out there playing for pride, playing for points. And you see, well done boys, playing for pride, for points, but also playing for the love of rugby. That was a wonderful little gesture we saw there.
We're about to begin the last game of the day between SSTMI Tsunami, who are donned in their black and red jerseys, against the Royal Town Warriors, who are donned in their blue and white jerseys. Your match official for this game, ladies and gentlemen, is Sajid Ghosh.
This will be a great clash between two Malaysian teams, Johor Bahru and Klang. Klang, which is Senegal, a state of Malaysia.
Thank you.
And I think you'll see quite a lot of crowd involvement getting into this game, as has been increasingly the case during the afternoon. The crowd has become more and more involved in this day. Imagine what tomorrow will be like. That's well taken. Now they're going to show their hand very early. They're going to go wide. They're going to take on these big men with a bit of speed, bit of agility. Well, a little goose step. It's not bad. The ball's flopped backwards though. Kicked out, I think, by Royal Town. That's what the sideline official agrees with. Yeah, I think that's how they're going to want to play this Tsunami. I think you've got a lot of big men in that Royal Town side, and they're going to be a handful. And I think you're going to work them around the field somewhat. You've got to really just stretch them. It's easier said than done, of course, but I think that's the tactic. Sevens is a good format to do that. It's well taken. So here they go. Side to side. Looking for the overlap, looking for the lazy defender, looking for a slow defender. Not found that time because he just ripped the ball out. That's a knock on though, I think. No, the referee says play on. Inside. One more pass. Try! So well done to Royal Town. They stripped that ball and it wasn't called a knock on. I was wrong. And they just kept the ball alive. They kept backing each other up, kept offloading, and the try came. So a great opportunist try there. Came from good defence and some really smart work after they got possession. So first points of the board go to Royal Town. Oh, great kick too. That's a lovely kick. So it's a 7-0 lead. Should we take a look at this again? They keep falling to the ground, but as soon as they did, they kept turning around. They kept looking for support. They kept backing up. And that's a wonderfully conceived try. So there it goes. I don't think that went to 10. Play on, says the ref. All right, here's their chance. Tsunami will use those fast feet and see if they can work these big boys around. Oh, it's halfway through. That was half a split, and he got the penalty. So it's working so far. And there's a bit of an overlap. Intercept has worked. He tapped it. He picked it up. And now they're on the front foot again from a turnover. So you've got to keep your eyes on these Royal Town boys, even in defence. Inside ball, and that's going to be another try. So once again, just as it looked like Tsunami were putting something together, the intercept comes. The big man popped his hand in the air, dragged it down. If he hadn't got that intercept, that would have easily gone the other way to Tsunami. But that's how it worked out. And once again, just like the last time, backing each other up, supporting each other, turning defence into attack. So it doesn't look like he kicked that. He missed that one from a much easier angle than the last one. Now here he goes. The big man used his height to full advantage, and then you just see them looking around. Notice he peeks a look here. He peeks a look there. Just looking for his supporter, and you know that he could have easily just gone over there. Gave the man in a better position. 12-0. Ball's gone down, picked up by Royal Town, all out the back. Now we're beginning to see some party tricks. Oh, then we see a really bad party trick as he drops the ball. It's early days. It's early days. Tsunami can get into this. They've looked promising on occasions. Got to believe in themselves. Quickly, the ball comes in and out. Oh, here comes Royal. Looking, dumbing. Inside. Oh, what footwork. Breaking through another tackle. Then it just goes down to the wing and that scores. What a beautiful setup that was. We saw a lot of skill in that one run there. We saw some dummying, we saw some stepping, we saw some strength. And in the end, it was once he'd got through, it's just a matter of going through the motions, getting the ball to the edges, and it's try time again. That was a well conceived try, I must confess. That was a beautiful little run. Can't wait to see that again. Boots it up. Oh, he gets it in. He can do it from both sides of the field. Well done. A little thumbs up. That's a lovely kick. Hits the crossbar, and the rugby gods reward him by giving him the 2 points. Let's take a look at this. 1, 2. He's turned the same guy inside out. Then he breaks to a tackle. It's a presence of mind to use his outside players. And that's a wonderful, wonderful piece of work. That's a great try. So Tsunami wanting to put some points on before half time to keep themselves in the game. Inside pass. Goes to ground. Royal Town come in enthusiastically, but too enthusiastically. I've been here many times before in this game, Tsunami. This time, what can they do this time? A nice little offload, dumming. Yeah, that's good work. Need to keep going in there, because here comes Royal Town using their considerable strength at the breakdown. There's a man over there. And it's a big one as well. That's what we call an old-fashioned, don't argue, I'm going to score a try into the post, young man. That's a demonstration of strength if you want to see one in the game of rugby. Yep, nothing but love, nothing but love. So that was a beauty, that was. So that's another post-try celebration. That's the second one we've seen in as many games. And yeah, as I said, I wouldn't want to be the man that gets in his way. It's like being a speed bump, really, isn't it? And so the extras are added. It's 28 points going into half-time. We'll see that try again. Let's look at this. Here he goes. Sizes him up. I'm 3 times heavier than you, mate. Good night. He goes over and scores. And decides to give us all a little bit of love. There he is, look at that. We don't get the same camera angle, but we all know what he did. And so it must be said the Royal Town Warriors are right in control of this game, coming into half-time at 26-0 against Tsunami. Got a lot of work to do in the second half, but they're able young men. Selangor versus Johor Bahru right here in our final game at the Borneo Sevens, the greenest sevens in the world.
26.
And here are the tries. You'll see a lot. You'll see a lot of this just passing, looking for each other, just good communication, obviously, and good peripheral vision. Just be able to see each other, look for each other. Even this try here. You know, you look at this young man here. He's carving up. He's turning them inside out, and he could easily say, "Well, I'm going to go on from here." But he saw the cover and he passed it on to his teammates. Scored in the corner. There's a lot to be impressed by this Royal Town Warriors side. Remember, this is the team that only just got beaten by a really strong and clinical Hong Kong side. So, again, we're looking at another serious contender in this tournament for some silverware. Meanwhile, Tsunami, they just need to collect themselves and, again, got to believe in yourself. Just hold the ball. Keep the ball away from the big men. Keep it in your hands. Go through the phases, and it will come. The tries will come. The gaps will open up, and the faster feet will find a way through. And as you can see, the crowd has built up nicely over the afternoon, as they will tomorrow when everyone comes and joins us. The big day of finals. And another kickoff. The big man's in there. I think he's knocked it back. Tapped it on. Here goes Royal Town Warriors. Up, straight through again. Comes to the last one. Got some great footwork. Great footwork, I should say. That's beautiful to watch. That's Marcus Smith like that is. Anyway, here we go. One-on-one, turns on a little bit inside out, and now he's looking for his winger. He's found him. Well taken. Great tackle there. Slows down the Warriors momentarily at least, but you just sense that they've got some tricks up their sleeve. Bit of patience. Had to come back and get the ball. Nice offload, and it's opened up. Tackled, offload. This is the offloading again. Boom! There he goes again. If he's not stepping around them, he's stepping on them. And the ball's gone to the ground. I think that blindside has something going for him. Yep, that's between the legs. Not exactly the best pass in the world, but some entertainment nonetheless. A bit of a wrap. Big man brought to ground. A little win there for Tsunami. And they got the penalty. Well done, Tsunami. That looked very ominous there from the Royal Town Warriors, and they hung in there. They tackled hard. They got the big man, and they didn't give up. And you can see they're pretty exhausted. It's taking a lot out of them, as you can clearly see. And there's a lot of talent and a lot of strength in this Royal Warriors time, and Tsunami definitely digging in deep in this second half to counter that. Yeah, good to see injured players get up. Bit of magic spray. And they're just taking their time. The clock has stopped, I think. No? They're just taking their time. Let's take a look at this. Coming in, that's the injury there. It's always bad when you see ankles and limbs and stuff going in the wrong direction. And his teammates come over the top of him. Well, that doesn't help, but he's back on his feet. And here goes Tsunami. That's a nice offload. He's looking for his mate there, but it's a ball and all tackle. Taking him to ground. Coming down this side here. Oh, again, they're a monstrous team sometimes. Very physical. Well, in that case, too physical. So just working through the hands. Changing angles and probably, I guess, an offside. Really giving Tsunami a bit of a platform here. Been no try in the second half, so they've been competitive. Going through the hands. Oh, that's nice. That's even better. Oh, That's silky smooth. He's pinned his ears back. He's got support if he chooses to use them. And he doesn't. And when he decides to throw it, it's just too late. You could see him looking at his support. You could see him looking at it. He was umming and ahhing what to do. And in the end, just made the wrong decision. So an opportunity lost there. That was a really good break. Some really good handling. Some really good footwork. They caught Royal Town napping down that blind. And they just couldn't convert their opportunity. And subs come on, some fresh legs. Well, that's a big push from Tsunami. Some genuine pressure now on Royal Town. Oh, juggling the ball. This is good defence. This is good up and in them. Oh, and they can see the penalty. That's bad luck. Royal Town won't waste any time. I think they fancy themselves for more parts and why not? And here we go. This is a foot race. The defence is coming across. Steps inside. He's trying to position his winger. There he is. Back inside. This is some globe-trotting stuff. Huge pass, half the field, half the width of the field. Little side step, little goose step. Taken. The ball's popped out. It looks like it's gone forward. And I think they're going to go back and play the knock-on. Yep. So a bit of razzle-dazzle there from Royal Town. I think they feel they got this game well in hand, and maybe it's a bit of time for entertainment. Can't say we'd argue against that. Big push there. The big men putting a lot of pressure on the scrum, and scrum half has been pushed into the ground and as such conceded a penalty. So here goes Tsunami. Going the width. Looking for a defender they might catch out. It's not that one. It's a good tackle. And that's a good clearing out. Ooh, a little bit of juggling, but no harm done yet. Stepping. That's a good run. Looking for support. But there's no doubt that once you get grabbed by some of these Royal boys, you've got a fight on your hand. So there we go. Let's go. Pace. Still checking his luck, and they held their formation. Did the Royal Town Warriors? They held their line. Followed him in. Darrelled him into touch, so worth a try, I guess. Sometimes you just got to roll the dice. Nothing to lose at this point. And if Royal Town Warriors win this ball, we might see some more razzle-dazzle. Yep, there's the ball. And let's see what they've got up their sleeve this time. Immediately going through the hands. Stepping, looking, stopping. Looking for options. Breaking tackles. Eventually taken just outside the 22. And the referee has given the ball to Royal Town. So one more opportunity for them to score, you'd think. No. And offside. So here we go. Last play of the game, and I'm pretty sure it's the last play of the day. They're going to go straight through the hands, straight out to the wings. Big man is looking for support. He's found it. There's plenty of good defence there, though. This is a nice little stand by Tsunami. They're not just going to throw in the towel, and the blind has been left wide open. So here he goes. Takes on one, offloads. Still going down that short side. The referee said there's been a knock on, and that will end this game. The clock is in the red. According to our clock, it's finished, but maybe one will roll the dice. Maybe another opportunity for Tsunami. Another big push. They can be bullies, Royal Town, they really can. But as a result, they've conceded the penalty. And we're waiting to see if Tsunami got one more trick up their sleeve before we finish the day. Finishing off on a grandstand note. That's a nice run, coming through, still going. He's put him on the front foot, Tsunami. And the ball has been dropped. That pass just died on him. And that will end proceedings. So it's been a convincing win here by the Royal Town Warriors. Their power, their pace, their strength, and then their skills just proved too much for Tsunami. So a little win there from Selangor over Johor Bahru. But all in the spirit of rugby. They get out there and they shake hands. Cuddles all around. It has been a very good day of rugby here. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll take a look at the highlights just to remind ourselves how good this was. But it's certainly a wonderful advertisement for what we will see tomorrow. And here we go, and again, we just talk about the better teams in this competition just backing each other up, offloading players in support, a lot of anticipation, a lot of support. We'll see this one here, like he just comes inside, and we see it many times in this game. That this is my personal favourite. Just love the skills seen here, the strength, the pace. Just if he's not busting tackles, he's running around them. And again, he passes it on. That's a great try. And that's what we saw in this game. We saw it from many other teams today. And of course, don't forget the big unit here, giving us a nice little post-try celebration as he comes in. Does the big argue, does the big ugly fend. It says, you know what, nothing but love, nothing but love. So here's the match results. We've got a mixture of results here. We've had some convincing wins. The Briars girls came home strong over Labuan. Kazakhstan had a hard fight against Rugby India, but overcame them in the end. The Eagles New Zealand Sevens showed their quality against the Jaguars, who were... So the Singapore development side, the female team beat the Pakistan women's team as well, 45-0, another convincing win. The Borneo Eagles continue their march towards possible silverware by putting Singapore development away. Again, it was much closer than that looks. Malaysia Uni did the same to Uzbekistan after what was a pretty tight game most of the way. Hong Kong China Dragons put their hand up, a 26-7 win over All for One. And finally, Royal Tour Warriors, 26-0. We just saw that game. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get onto YouTube and make sure you have a good hard look at tomorrow's quality rugby action coming to you from Sandakan. Support your team, support your players, and get some friends and family, get them into your lounge room, get them in and watch this wonderful game. It's a wonderful tournament, the Greenest tournament. And if you live in the area, then do one better than that. Come along, sit in the seats, enjoy the atmosphere firsthand, because I can tell you, it's great out there. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bray Trying, signing off, wishing you all a very, very good Saturday.